welcome to our new moon in Gemini celebration, you guys. We have got a new moon in Gemini that starts tomorrow morning at 6:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be June 10th. And at the same time, we have a solar eclipse in Gemini happening as well. So it's going to be a very, very powerful, highly charged day that's coming our way. Absolutely. And this is going to be a really cool reading, I hope. I hope these are going to be some cool readings that I'm going to be working on tonight, because I really want to give you guys something that's going to help just to illuminate and also inspire, because I think that this is kind of a dynamic energy with the new moon in Gemini. We really have communication coming very strongly to the forefront. That, of course, is something that is always going on whenever we are going through our Gemini season. You know, it's all about talking, thinking, the way we talk, the way we think, the way we express ourselves, what we think about, how we get things done, how we, work together with others to create our dreams by talking to them, telling them what we want to do, how we want to do it, right? And that's a big reason why your Mercury sign is important. Your Mercury sign is very important in your chart. That is, the sign that your Mercury is in is the way you think. It's the way you communicate. It's what you think about most of the time. And how you, say, well, let's get this done. And here's the way I think that it will be best to do it. It really shows that side of yourself, the way the whole mind works. And whether you have an easy time communicating or not, because if your Mercury is afflicted or challenged in your personal chart, you will have a hard time expressing yourself, or sometimes feeling like people always, it's like you might get that feeling people never, it's like I can never get my point across easily until or unless you find somebody that's kind of in that same energy. So, hey there, guys. Good to see you. David, Murray, Ian, I think, are already in the chat. Had a fun time last night, guys. For any of my late night hoot owls that were up, I played a bunch of music, sat around practicing and all that good stuff last night. That was fun. That was super, super fun. I definitely got a few copyright notifications on a few of the songs I did, but it didn't even matter because I didn't monetize the video. I was like, I'm not making any money off of any of this. So, in the future, it's like, if I want to do cover songs, like, I just won't monetize them. And, if I do want to monetize it, though, like, I can just stick to my traditional music and my own music. So, yeah. Yeah, my own music is my own, so nobody can slap anyone with rights over it except for me. So, sometimes that's going to be a fun little thing, because I do like to practice tunes late at night. I like to sit and play my piano and my guitar. I should bring the harp into it next time too, because I have a lot of instruments. Oh, thanks, David. That's kind of you. I don't know if I'll, I guess I'll leave the video up. I don't know, because it's one of those things. It's like, it doesn't really matter that much to me, because I can sit down and do it all over again. You know what I mean? It's just practice for me. It's not like some big old thing. But it was fun. It was really fun. So I'm just putting some stuff. I'm getting my stuff going on my candle. We've got our new moon, our black moon. I always get real excited when we have our new moon or a dark moon, because that is the moon aspect in which I was born. I was born in a new moon with the sun and the moon conjunct in Capricorn. And so we are going to look at our chart. Let me get myself nice and organized here. Wish I had my little black pen, but this pen will work just fine. This pen will work fine for me. Let's see. Also want to get us let's get us some affirmation cards on this, guys. Shall we? Shall we? Actually, I can use that as an affirmation. Yeah, we can do that. That works for me. Yep. I don't want these to be too long. Hey, Justin. Hey, Dragon. Hey, Yu-Yi. Yay, my dragon family is here. Hey Gwen, is she in here? Good to see everyone. All right, y'all. So let's. Oh, and I posted my little 1-minute video clip of my little Eastern towies going crazy in my yard this morning. They were jumping and kicking. They do the little jump kick move. So if you haven't watched those birds, oh my gosh. I love my birds, and that was a really funny, that was a funny moment to catch on video because he was kicking, I think it was a little white-throated sparrow, and the towhee was just like kicking him out of the court. I'm like, dude, dude, there's room for every bird. I put so much bird seed out there. It's like, it's a territorialness in the case of the towhees. They're territory. I gotta defend it. So here we go, guys. Here is the chart for our new moon and solar eclipse. Hey there, Brenda. Good to see you, baby. Thank you, Yuyi. I'm glad you enjoyed the music. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm sure I'll be back doing it again soon. Maybe even later tonight, depending on what kind of time I have. So so here we go, guys. Here we go. Look at all this Gemini. Happy birthday. Happy Gemini season to all my Gemmy Gems out there, because goodness gracious. And right now, as I'm sitting here in Atlanta, we do have a Gemini rising going on where I am. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably feeling that as well. But we've got our Mercury retrograde in Gemini. There he is. There's our sun and our moon teamed right up. That is when we have the new moon, guys. When the sun and moon are in the same degree, in the same sign, that is the new moon. So if you're ever looking at a chart and you wonder what that aspect is, if you see the sun and the moon sitting side by side together, you know they were born in a new moon, right? You know you're looking at a new moon chart. So the new moons are our 2-week cycle beginning that brings about greater progress, greater production, greater activity, building things up, because that's that 2-week phase where we're building up as the moon travels along through the signs, and when it gets over here, that's when we have our full moon, when it's across from the sun, right? So that is what we're looking at tonight. So these readings are going to mostly be about what we're bringing in with this new moon in Gemini and the solar eclipse also in Gemini. Amazing, right? So that's going to be really what we're focusing on tonight in our readings. Very excited to do that. So let's see what's coming in. Let's see what's coming in, because that's what new moon energies are about. And it's also what solar eclipse energies are about. Lunar eclipses, as I have said before on my videos, are really kind of that breath out. We just had the big lunar eclipse in Sagittarius 2 weeks ago that came with that full moon. And so that's a powerful letting go. It's a powerful release. And so, it releases things in the area of Sagittarius, which are going to be things around ideologies, spiritual structures, religious beliefs, attitudes, and philosophies that we carry. So, I think a lot of this is really meant to kind of break us open and break us down out of old negative structures or things that don't really work for us anymore. And get us into a new way of thinking. So as we go into a new moon in Gemini, it's definitely about a new way of thinking, a new way of exploring, the way that we think and the way that we communicate. And because it's in a Mercury retrograde as well, along with that solar eclipse, we are bringing in just a powerful rethinking of the way that we express ourselves, the way that we interact with each other. It's interesting actually last night that I jumped on and did a bunch of music, because that's something I hadn't done in a little while. And, Mercury retrogrades often take us back to things that we haven't done in a little while, right? It brings us back. Our mind goes in reverse. Like, oh yeah, remember when I used to do that? Remember when I used to really enjoy XYZ? And we just go, I want to try that out again. And maybe it works and maybe it doesn't, but it gives us this feeling of like, either let's try to rework this and go forward with it, or it gives us some closure, right? That's also why Mercury retrogrades are kind of infamous for like old lovers returning, old friends returning, old people we haven't heard from in a long time communicating at long last. that kind of thing. That kind of thing. Oh, Harticle, good to see you in the chat. I've got my Capricorn tea tonight here. We've had a lot of off and on rain. We've had a lot of off and on rain, guys. We really have. All right. I'm mostly using Oracle cards tonight. Mostly using Oracle. And I will be just pulling a affirmation out of the Ibiza Tarot. This is a really interesting tarot because it doesn't do the minor court cards. It only does the major arcana and then the Ace, King, Queen, Page, and Knight. So it's a really interesting one, and I'll pull one archetype for each sign as we go through. So we're just gonna go to it that way. You know what's really hilarious? The last time that I did a video, somebody pulled a copyright claim on me for playing my tuning forks. This is not the first time that's happened. This is like the second time that's happened. And they like said it was some kind of song or something, and I'm like, no, it really was just me hitting some tuning forks. But I guess whatever the, combination of me hitting those forks sounded like, I guess it sounded like somebody's dumb song. So they were like, no, it's his song. So I had to like actually trim the like 10-second thing out where I was playing the tuning forks. It's ridiculous. And the other thing that really cracks me up about this too is like when you pull a copyright claim kind of thing like that, the amount of money that you might stand to get from something like that is so inconsequential that it's like, it's not, it's so funny. It really is. Like, and then sometimes it's really odd how you'll get these copyright claims at different weird times. Like on one of my seasonal reading videos, I actually played that song, Both Sides the Tweed. And I actually got direct permission from the artist himself, from the guy who wrote it, when I first recorded that song on one of my albums. He was like, yeah, play it. I don't care. He's an old Scottish dude. He didn't give a darn. And so he was like, just go to town. Do what you want with it. And so I played it. And so I played it on that video. No copyright strike. No one said a thing. It was fine. I played it again last night during my music night, and they put a copyright strike on it. I can't even. It's like on one video it was okay, on that video it's not okay, but I'm not monetizing any of it, so it's all okay, right? It's like, why even bother with a copyright strike? I'm not even monetizing the video, so it's like it doesn't even matter. I think it's all pretty funny. None of us are making a bunch of money off of these songs anyway. It's just kind of the truth. It's like if you wanted to get a lot of money, you wouldn't become like a Celtic or folk musician. I'm just, saying. It's not like, yeah. It's foolish. Everybody's like so Sue happy. That's what it is. They're all chasing the ambulance, It's all that sort of like, I gotta get the last nickel out of everything, and it's just so dumb. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let's play our let's play our outlawed tuning forks here, and hopefully it's not gonna set off anything. They're not gonna be like, oh, that sounds like something. It's like, it's just tuning forks, guys. It's the literal vibration of the sun, the earth, and we have our C fork, our root chakra. So, that is a C. I'm in a mood. I've always joked these sound more like Close Encounters of the Third Kind than anything else. That's my dinner forks. I'm calling people to dinner. Come and get it. Yeah, I need to get myself one of those triangles, you know, the big old, like the old timey triangle that the chuck wagon would ring when the calling the cowboys in to get their food. Yeah, that's what I need, a big old triangle. Come and get it. All right, let's see what we got. Let's gonna burn just a little sweetgrass here. I've got my candles going for our new moon, guys. Just get us ready for this. Dear spirits, dear angels, dear ancestors, come be with us while we do these readings for the new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini of 2021. Very, very nice. Sage on this as well. Hey there, Krista. Good to see you in the chat, hon. All right. These cards nice and... Hey there, Dana. Thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate everybody's participation. And after we do the general reads, if there's still enough people in here and if there's interest, I will open it up to do a few personal reads, like just small personal questions if you want. And if anybody donates $5 or more, I'll do a little mini read question answer thing for you. If we have people in interest, we will do that after we do the generals. So just something to try. We can open up to that. All right, guys, let's start out with Aries. As always, our first in line, our little rams. Aries, this is going to be a nice new moon for you. Gemini is actually in a sextile aspect to your sign, and so that is a very positive aspect indeed for you, Aries. It brings through a lot of opportunities in action and communication, and to start taking action on your thoughts, especially if there's something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time that's been percolating, and it's a matter of just taking action on those words or following up your actions with communication. That's what this is all about. So I'm going to start with one card for you from this Ibiza Tarot Oracle to give you your archetype. What's coming through? What are you going to be really positioned as over this next 2 weeks, especially going into the future with this Gemini new moon? Dear angels, ancestors, beings of light, show us what you've got for our beautiful Aries for this new moon solar eclipse in Gemini of 2021, please. Salt of the earth. I like that. It's the strength card. This is the same as the strength card in the traditional tarot there, Aries. So this is about your courage, your heart, your bravery, staying true to yourself, strength and karmic power, balance and self-control, confidence of the equilibrium between spirit and matter. That's really true. That's really it. It's Leo energy. You may find, you know, that you're very connected to yourself, to the earth. You know, salt is, you know, Salt is a lot of things. It brings flavor, it brings purification, it brings protection from negativity. Sea salt baths are incredibly healing, so salt could be a very, very important part of your purification ritual or getting ready for the next 2 weeks. So very, very nice that they came through. But the strength card is all about, the lion, which is the symbol of our physical, material, manifestation and earthly walk, and the symbol of the woman, in the strength card, the symbol of spirit. That's our symbol of spirit, right? So this is that combination. So I think you're coming through very, very strongly here. It may also be, that kind of need to express both things, both your action and your thoughts, and having the courage to speak up. Having the courage to speak up. So let's get some oracle on this. I'm going to do some moonology cards for you. Give us a little bit of past, present, future, what this new moon cycle will be like for you, Aries. Wow, a lot of new moon energy here. I feel like a lot of my Aries have been going through quite a lot of effort. A lot of effort here. Look at what we have. Your hard work is paying off with the new moon in Capricorn. There you go. And we're stepping into a new moon. So you've been working very hard on something, whether it's very internal, where nobody really knows that you're working on it because it's happening more interior. But it could also be exterior. It could be something very related to your career, your ambitions. Right in the center, we have the new moon in Leo. It's a lot of new beginnings here. A lot of new beginnings. And it says confidence is your key to success. So Aries, confidence is what it's about. You're bringing in a lot of Leo energy here. You've got that strength card as your archetype. So this is really coming through a second time. It's really about embracing positive, healthy confidence and self-worth, not negative, destructive ego, right? So stay in that positive, happy place there. And we've got also new moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So I feel like, you've got Capricorn energy here back to back. The new moon in Capricorn came out and the full moon in Capricorn came out for you, Aries. So I feel that this is very strongly pushing you forward in some element of career. And the real key here is confidence. The key here is to be confident. The key here is to not get down on yourself, especially if you've taken some hits. And I know my Aries have definitely taken some ups and downs. They've kind of gone through, lack of energy, maybe a feeling of lack of enthusiasm or support from others. And so they have felt very much on their own. And so I feel like that's really coming through too, And if you have a Capricorn in your life or you have Capricorn in your chart, Aries, this could also be playing out very strongly. But obviously the strongest signs on this reading are Leo and Capricorn. We've got 2 strong Leo cards and we've got 2 strong Capricorn cards. So let's clarify these with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Wow. Very powerful reading, Aries. What a great way to start the evening. On top of your hard work is paying off the new moon in Capricorn, we have the card of boundaries. So I really do believe, especially around the areas of work, career, ambition, and your higher, loftier goals, you're really learning how to set boundaries and to say no to people when you need to, because you can't do everything for everyone. And Aries, you are a can-do kind of spirit. You really are. And so if you've been having people pulling on you from all directions saying, I want you to do this for me, I want you to do that for me, you're really learning how to say no and say, you know what, I can't do everything for everyone. On top of this, we have the new moon. Look at that, which is the cycle that we're in tonight, is the new moon, the new beginnings, on top of this Leo card in the center. So I do feel, Aries, that this is a new beginning of your self-confidence and self-worth being reborn in this cycle, which really makes me happy. On the outcome, on our last card, on top of that full moon in Capricorn, we have the self-love card. So beautiful, beautiful reading, Aries. We have the message of boundaries, new beginnings, and self-love. self-love, Aries. So I want you to be confident, embrace yourself, love yourself. Do not be putting yourself down. You're really embracing this archetype of the strength card here with the element of salt in this particular tarot oracle. Salt of the earth, you know, that's what it makes me think of. Don't spare the salt, right? Sometimes when we're in a feisty mood, they say we're a little salty. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be a little salty there, Aries. Let's get an affirmation. I'm going to pull one Making Magic card for you on this reading. But this is wonderful. I absolutely love the messages coming here. I love the self-love card. That is just one of my favorites from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, because to me that's the highest vibration of Aries, is learning healthy self-love. Self-love, healthy boundaries, being enthusiastic about your beginnings, being strong, being courageous. Successful career. Yeah, this is definitely a career reading. We've got both of the Capricorn cards from the Moonology. We have the successful career card coming out here, a happy working environment, pay raises and promotions. So Aries, a lot of you, you may be asking for the raise or the promotion. If you don't get it, you may be saying, I'm out of here, because we've got that boundaries card. For some of you, it's like, I need to get paid what I'm worth. Wow. It's just, this is such a good read, Aries. I like to bask in that one for a minute. What a great way to start our evening out. Hey there, Dandelion. Good to see you. We got lots of folks coming into the chat. If anyone wants to ask a personal question, we're going to open that up after I do the first 12 general signs, and I will require at least a $5 super chat. $5 or more in super chat. I will pull cards for you for one personal question after we do the general reads. So, sorry to make you wait, but that's the format tonight. If anyone wants to do have me answer a personal question and pull some cards, they can do that later with a donation. All right, so here we go, guys. We're into Taurus now, our little earthy bulls and cows. Let's see what we've got for you for this new moon, Taurus. This is going to be a nice energy, because this is getting into your second house universally. That's what this is really activating, and that is your house, right? Because when you look at the universal chart and you put Taurus on the rising, that puts Gemini on the cusp of the second house. So that really does activate your own personal energy. You might be thinking a lot about how to make greater strides, ground yourself better, express your ideas when it comes to manifesting your goals. That's what I feel for Taurus in the astrology. Let's get into some cards, please. Dear angels, divine beings of light, ancestors, show us our Taurus folks for the new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini 2021, please. Nice. Ooh, Page of Swords. Page of Swords is your archetype, Taurus. And to me, the Page of Swords has such a Gemini energy about it because it is youthful. Gemini is the youngest of the air signs, and so it feels very much in line with this card. In this particular Ibiza Tarot, this is the archetype of the Alpine Swift. So this is a very swift, agile bird, knows how to move, knows how to be flexible in its thoughts. Reason and judgment are required to make important decisions, analyze and act quickly. Yeah, you may need to really be using your mind to make some big decisions or to make some determinations about things that you've been mulling over for a while here, Taurus. You know, this air energy, this Page of Swords energy is very, very much about being willing to see things in a new way, becoming much more intellectually adept And that's something that's important for you, because Taurus, many times you can get really stubborn and really stuck in a certain way of reacting, responding, thinking, etc. But this is saying you're going to have to be agile. You're going to have to be like this alpine swift. You know, that's what you're going to need to embody during this time, because you're going to need to move quickly at times. Sometimes you've just got to act, and you're not going to have a lot of time to think about it. You've got to take all the information that you have and make the best decision based upon that. So let's get into your moonology. Let's see what the moon oracle is bringing to Taurus for the Gemini new moon. Yeah, to me this is a good read. Take time to breathe out. The disseminating moon, right? So take time, right, to ground yourself. Take time to focus on these decisions and these things that you're going to need to be working on, right? Don't overwhelm yourself with it, but you will have to work through this. Luck is on your side, however. We have the new moon in Sagittarius energy coming through for this time. So I would say that this is bringing through a new cycle of luck, and a lot of it has to do with you relaxing the mind and allowing it to just take flight, allowing it to be very agile. And what that's actually helping you do is work through your fears. Look at, we've got 2 new moon cards on this reading here, Taurus, for you. So to me, this brings through a lot of clarity, a lot of ability to face down the darkness within, right? That's always what that is. And it could be some shadow side work as well that you're doing, because Scorpio is your opposite sign. So you might be doing a little bit of work on that interior. You know, you might be doing some work on your personal relationships as well, because that is the house that Scorpio rules for you on the universal. So let's get some clarifiers from the Queen of the Moon on this for Taurus, please. Very nice. Yeah. Masculine God, the masculine aspect of the lunar quality, right? So to me, it's like making some decisions, taking the lead, not being afraid to go forward, because this is the more assertive side of that very feminine moon energy, right? So I would say, Taurus, definitely take time to breathe and step into a leadership role. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take a stand. Right in the center, on top of the new moon in Sagittarius, we have the acceptance card. We have the acceptance card. So if somebody brings you, you know, good news, if somebody offers to give you help of some kind, accept it. Accept it. Don't overthink it. And be very accepting of the flow of life as well, because sometimes that new moon in Sagittarius can open up completely new doors that we didn't even see coming. So it's really about being in an energy of acceptance and saying, yeah, I'll let that come on in. On top of working through your fears with the new moon in Scorpio, we've got that Beaver moon of creation. That, interestingly enough, is the full moon of November during Scorpio's season. Absolutely amazing. Totally amazing, guys, because to me, the things that you're starting right now could come full circle during Scorpio season. I'd also give that caution that if you don't work on anything that's coming to the surface now, you're gonna get hit with it again during Scorpio season. It'll come back and say, remember me? Didn't take care of it then, so you gotta take care of it now. It will definitely have a way of doing that. Let's get into something here on our Making Magic affirmations for Scorpio, please. And the triple spiral is coming up for you, Taurus. Listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. Yeah, that's absolutely what this feels like. Listen to the wisdom within, act on it, right? Don't sit around with it, because that Alpine Swift card, this is the card you're embodying, that's Page of Swords. You have got to be willing to activate with that and be willing to change direction. If you ever watch a swift, if you ever watch a swallow type bird in the air, the way that they move is very quick. Like if something, you know, changes their course, they don't overthink it. They just dive. They just move. And that's the way that your energy is going to need to be. Wow. It's really, you know, staying mentally agile and being very flexible. Time to do things a little differently, Taurus. That's what I feel in this read. If you've gotten too stuck, if you've gotten too rigid in some kind of way of being or thinking, time to change it. Time to shift that up. Oh, sorry about my nose, guys. I always have a sniffly snout. I got a tissue over here to use. The dragon's fire. Oh, yeah. Hey, Tasha. Good to see you. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Transformation Queen. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being here. All right, my Geminis. Hey there, Linda. Good to see you. Oh, Gemini, Gemini. Happy birthday to all the Geminis out there that have already celebrated a birthday or will be celebrating a birthday soon. We are absolutely full swing in a Gemini party tonight. We really are. We have the Sun, Moon, and Mercury all moving in your sign with the new moon and the solar eclipse starting early tomorrow morning. So definitely opening up some big doors for you, Gemini. And for all of us, you know, for all of us, we're feeling those energies as well. So let's get into this. Your very special new moon solar eclipse. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us Gemini for their special new moon solar eclipse in their own sign of 2021, please. Ooh, I like this. Queen of Wands. Check that out, guys. That's your archetype. That's what you're embodying as this begins. Strong, passionate, fiery, very strong Leo energy for you, Gemini. This is a creator. This is manifesting energy. Helpful advice is coming from a friend. Say thank you and return the favor. Be outgoing without exaggerating. And the archetype from the Ibiza Tarot is the Greek. Wow. So very beautiful. I love this. I absolutely love this. Aligns with the signs of Pisces and Aries as well as Leo. So very, very good stuff. Yeah, this is a great kind of tarot oracle. Yeah, Dana, I like it. It's really, really cool stuff. It has a nice book all about it too that comes with it. But Gemini, with this kind of energy, I do feel it's very creative. It's very heart-based. It's very generous. It's warm. It's loving. It's creative. Very magical because the Queen of Wands is a very magical archetype. So let your light shine. Let yourself be radiant. This is definitely the time of the year when you are shining because your sun sign, the sun is in your sign, so it's definitely lighting you up on that universal level. Very, very nice. Let's get into some Moonology Oracle cards with you. Let's see which three we've got, please, for Gemini. Very nice. All right, guys, we're starting out with the full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. So, you know, this is the opposite sign. And I think it's really interesting that this particular card came out for you because, you know, what led us up to this solar eclipse in Gemini was the full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius 2 weeks ago. So I feel like this is really kind of giving you that bookend. It's like back to back, the both sides of yourself, the both sides of your identity, and also the relationships that you have with others, because Sagittarius does light up your relationship house. So look at the bigger picture. Move beyond anything that's been holding you back. It's time to tear down those walls. It's time to embrace a more expansive worldview. It is also a time for healing, Gemini, with that balsamic moon. So as this moon, builds up to the full and then wanes away again, you're going to feel this. You're going to feel that there's some things that have finally come full circle, because when we have those solar eclipses, those are all about bringing something in that's new and positive and powerful for you. So I feel that for you, Gemini, you may be coming full circle in a lot of ways, back to your original self, back to the things that really made you happy, especially because we have that Mercury retrograde as well in your sign. And so it's really about coming back to who you are. And it's a very, very healing thing. And as a result, very naturally, the things that no longer serve you fall away, right? And we have our North Node, time to step out of your comfort zone. So I feel like some old lifetime lesson has really been learned. Something has come very full circle, because the North Node is the cup that has not been filled yet. It's actually the point of destiny in our personal charts, right? So it's really where we're headed. It's really where we're going. And that's a little different for each person, because each person's going to have a different North Node sign. So you might want to check where your North Node is in your chart, because depending on what sign that is in, that has a lot to do with where you're heading next, right? But it is about going beyond something that you've already experienced, coming back to yourself in a lot of ways and expanding on that. Let's get some clarifiers on this from the Queen of the Moon deck. Ooh, Aries had this card too. The Divine Masculine, the Lunar God, very, very fiery. You've got a lot of Leo, Sagittarius, kind of Aries energy on this reading. So my feeling here, I almost called you Aries. Gemini, you're really stepping it up in terms of confidence, leadership, embracing, that stronger, more opinionated, more aggressive side of yourself, because this is the more masculine aspect of the very feminine lunar energies that we're experiencing. It's very fiery. Right in the center, on top of the time for healing with the balsamic moon, we have the wisdom card. Like I said, I really get this feeling, Gemini, around this new moon for you, that a lot of you are stepping up into some lessons that you've learned, right? And look at how she's stepping up on that ladder on top of this stack of books. It's like, look, I've already learned the lesson. I've grown in wisdom. I've grown in awareness and understanding of myself. It's a very healing process too. Like, it really is. It's not just about learning a lesson. It's not just about that. It's part of it. It's a part of that karmic completion. But it's also very healing to you from the inside out. On our outcome, on top of that North Node card, stepping outside your comfort zone, we have the Blue Moon card, the unexpected. So I feel like it's going to be sort of surprising the way that all this manifests for you, Gemini. And not even I could tell you exactly how it's going to be with that kind of a card, with that kind of energy, because it's sort of like, once you kind of go the distance, step out of these comfort zones, stepping out of these old things that might have held you back, it's going to surprise you the way that it manifests, the things that get revealed to you, and the new beginnings that start to come through. It's very exciting. Let's get into an affirmation for you. Mystic Star. Yeah, there is something a little mystical about this reading for you, Gemini. Harmony in the home and great friendships. So this is a very good sign, of greater peace, greater stability, greater connections with others. I think that in a lot of the divine detours of the Mercury retrograde that we're going through, you start to work out some things that really needed to be addressed. That's really it. And then it's sort of like shaking the sand up or the dust up in the air, and it's like for a minute it's just going to seem really chaotic, but then once the dust settles, once it all falls into place, it's going to start making a lot more sense. But stay warm-hearted, generous, open. That is your archetype for the new moon in Gemini is the Greek, the Queen of Wands, the Fire Queen. Yes. I've got like a piece of bunny hair in my mouth. Like, yeah, that's the one thing. Anybody that ever wants to like own bunnies, they need to know that there's going to be bunny hair in your life, bunny furs in your life, in your tea, on your lipstick, everywhere you go. There's going to be bunny hair on your clothes, in your bed. It's going to be hay everywhere. Yeah, my bunnies always remind me that bunny fur is very chic. So, you know, it's a good addition to your outfit, but, you know, still. It gets everywhere. It's worth it though. All right, Cancer. Let's see what we have got for our Cancerians out there. Cancer, as always, the moon is a big deal for you. Every time there's a lunar, you know, phase change or something going on, it's really a big deal for you guys. You're going to feel it probably the strongest. Yeah. Oh, Transformation Queen. Well, if you're a Cancer rising, the universal will actually fit for you. And I was going to say that, you know, for the universals, that's if you're a Cancer rising or if you're just, you know, a Cancer sun sign. On the universal chart, that Gemini energy is all going to be in your 12th house. So you're really going to be feeling this one in a very, very sensitive kind of way. Like on this you know, chart for the day that I printed for the new moon, like you can see right here, that's a 25-degree Gemini rising. So if you just shifted it 25 by 5 degrees to be a Cancer rising, but that's mostly what most Cancers are going to be looking at. If they're a Cancer rising sign, is they're going to be looking at all that Gemini energy is hitting their 12th house of Pisces. And that's a very sensitive, spiritual, very deeply emotional house. Yeah. Transformation Queen, if you're crying a lot, if you've just got like all of the waterworks coming up, that's totally normal because that's a very sensitive house. It's a house of cleansing. And I would also say that for you personally, you're probably going to be experiencing quite a lot of letting go. It's a house of transcendence. It's a house of suffering. No doubt. It is a house of emotional pain and suffering, but it is also a house of transforming, transmutation, letting things go. It's a mystical house, a very spiritual house. So yeah, this, you know, is until we get to the sun moving into Cancer, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that at this time of the year. Every year during Gemini season, you're going to be feeling that more sensitive time because it's literally your astrological month to just purge and emotionally cleanse and clear. Any old baggage that you've been hanging on to like over the last course of the year, it's time to shake it on out. So that's what that's about. And you know, any Cancer rising is going to feel that, and all of our Cancers on the universal level are also going to feel that. The nice thing is, though, we do have Venus in Cancer. Yes, we do have Venus in Cancer, and so that is in your first house. That's definitely bringing some happiness, some charisma, some spark to you. So that's very positive. So let's get into this, Cancer. Let's see what kind of messages come through for you for this new moon in Gemini. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us what you have for our beautiful Cancers for the Gemini new moon and solar eclipse of 2021, please. Ooh, this one already looks beautiful. Knight of Pentacles, the orange tree, element of earth. This is yours. This is your archetype for this new 2-week cycle. Find your loyal supporters, one with determination, patience, and common sense. Leo and Virgo energy on this card. I would also include Taurus and Capricorn because the Knight of Pentacles is the most successful knight of the tarot. it really shows me, like, it's that old saying, like, if you're going through hell, keep going. Don't give up. Persevere. If you're on the beginning of a new path or a new plan, it's time to get prepared. It's time to lay things out. It's time to map out your course of action. It's time to pack up your provisions and get ready. It may take you a while to get to your destination because the Knight of Pentacles does not move as fast as the other knights, but he is the most successful of the knights, right? He has the best chance of getting there in one piece and feeling good when he gets there, right? He has a very, very solid plan. I also love that this is a tree, and it's an orange tree, Cancer, because not only does it say, you know, the roots are very strong, right? Your grounding center is very strong, but there's sweet results. There's sweet results coming up on the top with those oranges, right? So that's a very beautiful card for you. Let's get into your Moonology. Let me get these knocked on. I'm going to clear those out. 3, please, for Cancer for the new moon. Wow. So Cancer, every one of the cards you got out of here is a new moon card. Luck is on your side with the new moon in Sagittarius. Look at this. Prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus. Now that definitely feels like that Knight of Pentacles. New plan of action. Very earthy. And we also have the new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. So wow, this is like a lot of new beginnings, a lot of new power coming through with this new moon. The fact that you pulled all new moon cards is pretty incredible here, Cancer. It really is. So be open, be very open. Have a broad-minded perspective, because to me, with Sagittarius energy, there's all kinds of expansion coming through, right? There's big, big new ideas, right? Oh, thank you so much for that blessing, Tasha. You're amazing too. Thank you. And so to me, this is all about, you know, the opposite side of the Gemini energy. So, you know, it's like it's really bringing through expansion, open horizons, seeing things in a new way. At the center of it, we do have, of course, that Taurus moon. That's why I said it's so beautiful that you have that Knight of Pentacles, because that is a solid, slow moving, you know, like the bull, but definitely gets where it's going, right? So prosperity lies ahead. Make a good solid plan going forward. And we also, of course, have that new moon in Scorpio. So this is working through some shadow side stuff, right? It's really being willing to grow psychologically, to grow spiritually and emotionally, because Scorpio is that deep, deep dive. Ain't no little dive, it's a deep dive. And so when we get that, it's like, you know, we're working through some shadow stuff. We're working through things that, you know, many times that kind of gets shelved or put on the back burner because we can't be operating out of that all the time. We can't deal with that all the time. But this is a good time to work through it. This is going to be a very positive time of psychological and emotional growth and healing. Yeah, Transformation Queen. This reading is calling your name. If you got 3 Scorpio placements, right? This is very strong. Let's get some clarifiers on this with our Queen of the Moon deck. Very exciting. Yes. Yes, yes. On top of the new moon in Sagittarius, we have that wisdom card. So I feel like in a lot of ways, you know, Cancer, you've grown, you've changed, you've gone to a new level, a new perspective in life, you know, climbing up on those books of wisdom, those books of knowledge and information and going to the next level. I would say that, you know, the wisest of the Cancers right now are going to stay really open-minded. It's like you've learned that it's better not to prejudge a situation or assume an outcome before you know the outcome, right? It's like keep the mind open. It's really important to do that. On the center, look at this with that Taurus moon energy. We've got the blue moon on top of it. Expect the unexpected. Expect weird miracles, divine detours, all kinds of little interesting, signpost along the way of your journey. It may be a very interesting way that you manifest this, because remember, your archetype was that the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like, it's really saying that the journey might differ from your expected trajectory, right? Stay open to that. Don't be like, oh, well, I didn't expect there to be a mountain there when I got there, but there was a mountain there. So what do I do with that, right? It's the unexpected. Don't turn back, Cancer. Keep going. You just got to find a new way to navigate, or find a new partner to get over that mountain. But don't give up. Don't give up. Persevere. We do have, interestingly enough, the hot moon. That's the full moon of July. That's the full moon that happens in your season, in Cancer season. So very interesting that they came up, and the keyword of extremes, because the Scorpio sign is, to me, all about extremes. It's all about those big, black and white, do and don't, two extreme sides of the same situation. So I think for a lot of my Cancers, you will be dealing with some some extreme polarities. You might be really dealing with some very passionate people in your life, or things that you feel very passionate about. And really, kind of the healing key is to find the middle ground, because Scorpio, like I said, is very black and white. They don't see a lot of gray. They're very intense. They hate it or they love it. They do it or they don't. They completely embrace it or they completely reject it. It's really hard to get Scorpio in that gray place, right? In that neutral zone. And so I think the big challenge for a lot of my Cancers, with this work, is to just stay in that middle, right? Stay in that middle. Don't get too extreme into one side or the other. Try to see the middle pillar, as they say in Buddhism, right? It's always trying to walk that middle path. Wow, what a powerful reading here for Cancer. It really, really is. Let's get into an affirmation for you from our Making Magic deck. And we have self-confidence. Yes, very big key here, Cancer. In all directions, right? No matter what direction you're traveling in, because there's definitely some traveling. Strong self-belief and a sense of self-worth. Wow. Yeah. And I feel like you're coming back to your roots. I love that archetype, because it's centered, it's balanced, it's stable, but it's also moving. It's also moving you forward. Love it. Love it. Love it, guys. I get so jazzed up for these new moons. I tell you, I get so jazzed up. By the time we hit the full moon, I'm all exhausted. I'm oh. But right when the new moon hit, I'm yeah, dragon time. Oh man, I get so excited for these. All right, let's get into Leo. Roar, Leo, roar. Yes, I love my lions and lionesses. Let's see what we've got for y'all coming through. Gemini, new moon and solar eclipse. Now that's interesting for Leo, because Leo, you are ruled by the sun. And the sun is a very constant thing, because the sun, unlike the rest of us, it's not a planet, right? It's not a planet, it's a star. And Leo, you are a star, and you know that. It's because you're ruled by a star. You're not ruled by one of our regular old planets. You are the star of the show. So that's why the Leos just, they got a little bit of that golden glow. They got that natural charisma. They're ruled by the sun. But the only thing that can really ever happen to the sun is sometimes it gets eclipsed by the moon. Funny how that works. That's kind of the only thing that can ever really shift the sun. The sun is very constant. That's why Leos tend to be very constant, right? Very warm. And so this is an interesting time for you, Leo, when we have a solar eclipse, because the solar eclipse means that you're having that little obscuration of your ruling luminary, but it's also revealing some things to you about yourself, and it is in that sign of Gemini. So I believe, for me, when I look at that, that this is really opening you up to the mass consciousness. It's activating that 11th house on the universal level for you. And so you are feeling a lot of maybe blinders coming off. You may be seeing things in a whole new way. You may be learning new ways to connect with the masses, with the mass consciousness. Maybe through social media, maybe through electronic means, because that 11th house is electronics and electrical devices and technology. Very interesting how that all comes together. So I think this is going to be a very positive new moon cycle, solar eclipse cycle. It's going to bring some powerful new growth and changes into your life, Leo. Because it is that rare occultation that affects your ruling luminary, the sun. So let's go into our cards. Let's start out with one archetype, one tarot card from our Ibiza Tarot. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us our beautiful Leos. What do they have coming through for the new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini of 2021, please? Whew. I felt both of these coming up. So I'm going to take this. Okay, this is a Jupiter card. Now that's interesting because this is not exactly, yeah, okay, party time, let go, forget about everything, and come back tomorrow. Yeah, this is a relaxation card. And your archetype in the tarot is the moon. Your archetype in the tarot is the moon card. And so keep your eyes open, double check everything. Things may be hidden from you. And I think that's very interesting because Leo, what of course is that what's going to aspect that sun sign? What's going to aspect the sun? It's the moon, and that's what's coming in. And you are being represented by the moon. So this is Pisces energy. It's a very Pisces card. It's righteousness, it's humility, it's strong intuition and perceptions. It's definite mysticism. It's definitely seeing the other side of things. So this is why I feel like Leo, you may be seeing a very distinct other side of yourself through this solar eclipse. That's why you're being symbolized by the moon. That's why you are becoming that moon energy, that lunar energy. I think that's very interesting. Yeah. And I think you're going to have a lot of very psychic revelations about what that is. You know, it's like we all have two sides of ourself, right? We all have two sides of ourself. So it's really about keeping your eyes open. Yes, double checking things. You know, the moon card in the tarot many times has that connection with deceptions, right? And the reason for that is not because it's a deceptive, like somebody's telling you a lie kind of thing. It's not necessarily that. Can be that, but not usually. Usually what it is that, you know, things look different under the light of the moon than they do under the light of the sun. And Leo, you are the light of the sun. So now you're being, you know, obscured as the moon goes across that sun sign, right? And so now you're seeing the other side, right? The inner side, the subconscious part of yourself rather than the show, right? The face that you show to everyone. You're getting more in touch with your private self, which I think is very important, very healthy. So let's get into some Moonology cards for you, Leo. Let's get 3 on this one, please. Wow. We got surrender to the divine, straight up full moon energy on this, Leo. So I think as we build up to the full moon from this new moon, the next couple weeks are going to be really powerful for you. You're getting symbolized by the archetype of the moon in the Tarot Oracle, and the first card coming out of the Moonology deck is the pure full moon. Wow. Saying. Second card coming out is the Virgo full moon card. You are good enough. And you know, this is something that is very interesting to me because I feel that many times Leo presents an image of self-confidence, sometimes arrogance or ego, right? You know, it really presents that strong, like, nothing gets me down kind of image. right? But a lot of people don't realize how sensitive Leos really are. They are. I'm a Capricorn, and Leo represents the universal eighth house to Capricorn. It's the house of mystery. And we have a little bit of an inside track on Leo because of that. We do. And I've known plenty of Leos, and I can tell you absolutely that that self-confidence isn't always as deep as it seems. It's not. A lot of the time they are very sensitive to criticism or cuts or slights, and they worry, am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Am I as awesome as I want to believe I am? And so I believe that this card, you know, this reading, this new moon, look at that. You are good enough. It's a reminder of, yes, you are, Leo, even if you sometimes doubt that, even if you sometimes feel a little scared that you're not good enough. Remember that you are. This is beautiful. On our third card, we have the new moon in Aries. It's time to take action. So you definitely are going to be spurred into some kind of action through this new moon cycle, which does not surprise me because new moons are excellent for kicking us right up the rump. They are very good for that because it gets things moving, gets things shaken, gets us out of stagnation. So I do feel that you're going to really kind of come into this sort of heart to heart with yourself, Leo. You're really going to confront that shadow side of yourself or that inner part of yourself. And I think that you're going to say, you know what? There may always be somebody that's either prettier, smarter, younger, faster, whatever it is, but there's only one me, and I am awesome, and I am definitely good enough, you know, so put aside any of those things that have made you feel insecure and fully embrace who you are, and then get going again, right? But it may be just a little bit of that pause, like, gotta do a little bit of self-reflection, right? Just remind yourself that all is well inside. Let's see what we have clarifying the Moonology cards. We're going to pull 3 from the Queen of the Moon Oracle and just clarify these cards a little bit more. Oh, I love it. Yes, I love it. Because our last full moon was the flower moon, the blossoming. So I feel like, wow, Leo, this past full moon, and you might want to go check that reading if you haven't. I do individual full moon readings for all the signs each month. So if you haven't looked at the May full moon in Sagittarius reading for yourself, go watch that, because with that card, with that flower moon card, that was this past full moon in Sag, that lunar eclipse. And it's sitting on top of that full moon card for you, Leo. So I believe that this was a very powerful full moon that came through. I think it swept away a lot of debris, a lot of things that may have been kind of obscuring your spiritual vision. And so now you're kind of stepping into that place where it's like you're seeing things a little more clearly for the first time in a while. Right in the center, on top of that full moon in Virgo card, is the release. You are good enough, Leo. Release any of the insecurities, the doubts, the fears. Let those things go. Let them go. They're not any good. They don't work. We can only go from where we are right now. And take action towards self-love. Yes, Leo. Embrace yourself fully. None of us are perfect. We all have things we don't like about ourselves. We all have things we struggle with. We all have things we don't like about our bodies or whatever it is. And this is just saying, remember to love yourself, flaws and all. All of that makes you uniquely you, right? All of that makes you your true self. And that is not worth replacing, right? You're never going to replace that. So love every part of yourself, even your ups and downs, right? Even those things that you see as challenging or difficult. But be active about that, right, Leo? Buy yourself the flowers. Give yourself some gifts. Give yourself some grace, right? Give yourself some forgiveness, especially if you have made any mistakes or feel like you've messed up something. Forgive yourself. That's part of self-love, guys, is self-forgiveness. let's get into a affirmation. What a powerful reading for Leo. I feel like hugging you guys after this reading. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Gwen. Yes, exactly. Buy those flowers. I'm telling you. Successful career. Ooh, I like seeing that. That's a nice feeling too. The sigil of successful career on this Leo. Happy working environment, pay raises, promotions. And you know, when you start valuing yourself a little more, you start going, you want me around. You gonna pay me. You want this Leo here being awesome and amazing. You gotta put your money where your mouth is. You gotta show me you want it. That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, you know, these days I don't even have to buy myself flowers. We've got this giant freaking gardenia bush outside, and like me and my mom have been picking gardenias off of that bush, and it is the best thing ever. Like, those things smell so, so good. Oh my goodness, delicious. So that's been really fun, having that gardenia bush out there. It's like in full blossom. We've actually got more than one. There's like a couple of them back there. And they're just incredible. Oh, they smell so good. It's like, to me, like a gardenia is like honeysuckle on speed. It's just like, oh, it's so strong. You bring it in and it just makes the whole place smell so good. It really does. It's great. All right. Yeah. My mom is so funny. She was like, gardenias were the flower that I wanted for my wedding, and they told me I couldn't have them because they would be so expensive and they don't travel well, which is true. They are. They're very fragile and they wilt real quick. So not a very practical flower for events, that's for sure. But man, I was like, too bad you didn't have that giant gardenia bush back then, because you could have just picked all you wanted and brought them right to the place. Oh, I love honeysuckle. All that. When those things start blooming and I'm taking a walk around the neighborhood, I'm like smelling. I'm like, oh, just. It makes my Taurus Jupiter very happy. Oh, yes, and magnolias. Yeah. We have those too. Those are delicious. They're such a like subtropical tree, and I love when the magnolias just start to flower, just starts to open. Stick your nose in that thing and smell it. It's like lemony, musky, vanilla yum. It's just so good. It's a wonderful fragrance. All right, Virgo. Virgos, how are you doing out there? Now this, to me, you know, Gemini time is more challenging for Virgo and Pisces than any other signs of the zodiac, for sure. Because it squares your sign, right? That's the most challenging thing about it. It's going to put that that Gemini energy right in that career house, right in that universal 10th house. So it really does light up things about your career, your higher ambitions, your bigger goals, aspirations, big achievements, the higher mind career, right? Not just the little everyday stuff that you have to do, like your real, you know, work of your life, right? Your life's work, right? That's the career house that all that Gemini action happens in. And yeah, because you are Mercury ruled. Both Gemini and Virgo are Mercury ruled, and so you may really be having quite a lot of thoughts. You know, you might be really having a lot of review around career and like, what kind of job do I want, and what is it that I really want to do, and you know, or maybe somebody's giving you a really big headache on the job, you know, communication wise. That could be happening too. All of it. All of the above could be going on there, Virgo. The biggest challenge, you know, with that is just to kind of keep it calm, keep it centered, and not let that run away with you, because that Mercury retrograde energy, oh my goodness, I've had to remind quite a few of my Virgo friends. It's like, just chill, guys. It's not going to last forever. We've got about 12 more days. It's the 22nd when Mercury goes direct. So hang in there. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. So Virgo, let's take a look and see what's going on with your new moon reading. Let's see what you're bringing in during this new moon and solar eclipse in the sign of Gemini. And let's start out with one main card from the Ibiza Tarot Oracle. That will be your archetype. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians and ancestors, please show us Virgo for this new moon solar eclipse in Gemini 2021, please. I love it. I love it. The hippie, yes, the hippie. The devil card actually is the archetype from this, and the devil is Capricorn energy there. So Virgo, you know, sometimes I say about, you know, the devil card, the devil's in the details, and it certainly is for Virgo because you're a sign that's very detail oriented. You can pick things apart. You can get really, really wrapped up in that. And sometimes it serves you really well in the realm of organization, but sometimes it doesn't serve you well in the realm of like driving yourself crazy with stress and anxiety, right? But be true to yourself, free your mind, get out of unclear or trapped situations, right? And when I think about, you know, the archetype of the hippie, this is like, yeah, it's like freedom for the mind, freedom for the heart, tapping into that universal love and mass consciousness, right? Those are definitely the higher minded aspects of that energy. And when I think about the devil, yeah, it's hard work. It's Capricorn, it's divine support, right? And so to me, interestingly enough, it's also hitting that same house. The Capricorn house is where all of that Gemini stuff is hitting on the universal level for Virgo. That's incredible. That's just kind of like really beautiful synchronicity right there. So I do feel that there is a lot to do about work. There is a lot to do about career, higher ambitions and goals. But because we're bringing in the archetype of the hippie, you know, be true to yourself, be authentic, right? It's like you want work that really expresses your true self, right? Your true spirit, your true energy. Wow. Let's get into some Moonology cards for you here, Virgo. Let's see what we got. And thank you for that blessing, Dandelion Dreamer. Thanks so much for that. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, there you go. And this is, I feel, this is such important messages for you to hear. Adjustments are required here, you know. Don't feel like you're stuck. Don't feel like you have no wiggle room. You know, you have ability to adjust, to review, to shake it up a little bit. Yeah, don't be afraid to adjust things, you know, before they're set in stone. Your energy is gaining momentum though, because we do have the waxing moon, and that's what our new moon, you know, starts. It starts the waxing moon, which is progress. It's forward momentum. It's things going in a positive upward direction. So don't worry. You know, things are happening, Virgo. You are climbing that mountain. But when it comes to your worries, fears, anxieties, and things like that, look at this. Nothing will come of that situation, right? Here it is, void of course moon. And void of course moons are often what I consider to be like mini Mercury retrogrades, right? There's just sort of those pockets of challenge or the energy not really being there, right? So it's really using your sense of timing, Virgo. I wouldn't worry too much over this next 2 weeks. I would really, really try to chill out as much as possible because things are moving in your favor. You're gonna need to make some adjustments and, you know, reset some things, which is very normal for a Mercury retrograde. But I think that what this is really saying is that, you know, don't push the river. If the energy's not there to get something done, don't stress out about it because nothing's going to come of that situation anyway. You can try to force it. You can try to make it happen quicker than it's meant to be, but it's just not going to do that. And the whole key into that amazing hippie devil archetype. I like that, hippie devil. I love it because this is my card. The Capricorn card is, you know, this devil. My little hippie devils. I love that. So you know, the real key about all that is freeing yourself to be who you truly are and doing the work that is in alignment with your authentic soul and voice. That's the key. That's the key. Or you could just be wearing some tie-dye this week. Next couple weeks. Just totally embrace your inner hippie. I would love it, hippie devil. Wear some tie-dye and a little pair of devil horns. That's your Halloween costume for the year. Hippie devil. I'm loving that. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get into some clarifiers from the Queen of the Moon on these Moonology cards. Yeah, I think too. Yeah, exactly. Wicked and groovy. That's right, Yugi. That's absolutely right. She's a wicked groovy. On top of adjustments are required. Check out the pleasure card here, right? Waning gibbous. This is just kind of letting things go. And there's a lot of like, that feels good, right? It feels good to just kind of let things go sometimes, right? If you need to adjust it, if you need to chuck it out entirely, Virgo, it's just going to feel so good. It's like, oh, good. You know, I'm just not going to worry about it. Just say, screw it. You know, that's going to feel good to just give yourself the freedom to let it go. On top of the energy is gaining momentum, we have the beauty card, which to me is, yes, gaining in beauty inside and out, right? It's sort of like seeing the beauty of all of those connections starting to come together and just being very relaxed about it, right? To me, again, this is a relaxation card. It just is. It's like, go to the spa, get your feet rubbed, get a massage, right? You know, do the things that make you feel good, right? Do your hair, do your nails, eat good food. Do all the things that give you that sort of relaxation. Yeah. All right. Let's go into the last cycles here. So here we go. Void of course moon. Nothing will come of the situation. And we have the balance card on top of that. And I really feel like this is so telling you, Virgo. This card always feels so Libra to me, right? It's balance, right? It looks like the scales. And so to me, it's like there's really a lot of wisdom in just not pushing things too hard right now. It really is. It's like, don't push the river. Don't force things into being if they're not ready to fall into place just yet. That's what this is about. You've got that energy because of this Mercury retrograde, and you've got that energy because of that Void of Course moon card coming through. This really is a beautiful reading, Virgo. It's a reading of balance. It's about being true to yourself. It really is. It's like, you know, again, I'm just going back to this archetype again and again. The little hippie devil card. I love this. I really do, because it's everything that devil card is about, right? It's work. It's, you know, our career, our ambitions, all those Capricorn things that come with that card. And it's also that need to not fall prey to the worries, the fears, the inhibitions, stuck in a rut that's not making you happy anymore. And that's where the hippie comes in, right? Because it's like, no, we're going to dismantle the machine, right? So beautiful. People freaking out, being picky and calm. Yeah, that's exactly where you should be, Gwen. Because it's not going to help. Being all stressed out, we all can be, Yugi. We can all be hippie devils here. Just wait. I'm going to get some devil horns and wear some tie-dye on a future live stream. It's going to be a thing now. Oh, we all are. Just like we're all dragons here too, you know. You don't have to be born in the dragon year to be a dragon in my group. We're all a bunch of little fire breathers. And and Gwen, you know, you're so right on, because, you know, it's interesting because it's almost like to go against the grain a little bit, because right now, yeah, with the Mercury retrograde and everything, people are really stressed out, and the challenge is to not fall prey to that, right? And it's not always easy. Easier said than done, for sure, at times. I know that for sure, being a little Capricorn. Um, but yeah, wow, this is awesome. Let's get an affirmation on this read for you, Virgo. Healing, yeah. The healing card, Virgo, that's you, straight up and down. The healing sigil. Absolutely. True healing of the mind, body, and soul. And I think that's really what a lot of this is about. It's like, you know, don't stress yourself out, because that, you know, that'll make you sick quicker than anything else. That will make you sick quicker than anything else. Wow. Stay in that peaceful place, Virgo, because it's all groovy, man. Silver Star, she's cooking and she's cooling. And David is chillaxing like a Saxon. Jason, so do all people just end up letting you down at some point? I do too. I let people down. It's just I'm not going to up with anyone anymore. I'm glad I can vent here to y'all. I don't know if that's really it, you know, Jason. I don't know that that's it. And I do think that, yeah, sure, people do let you down at times. There's no doubt about that. They've certainly done it plenty of times in my life. Woo! How long do you have to hear about all that? I mean, it's, you know, it's just one of those things. And, you know, being a Capricorn, I'm gonna tell you the way that I feel about that, because Capricorns are real picky. We're so picky about, like, our close friends. We know lots of people a lot of the time, but there's very few that, like, really stick with us, you know, for, like, a strong, solid friendship. But I'll tell you, I think that I think when people mostly let us down, or we let other people down, it's usually because we were trying to commit to something that wasn't authentic to us, or we were trying to be something other than what we really are. It all just really, sadly enough, it comes down to just being truthful. And that is something that I think is very hard. For people to do. It's very hard because we get all twisted up in society and our upbringing and parents and teachers and all the different influences we have. And so our true voice that we come in with, that we're born with, gets obscured, it gets diluted, it gets repressed. There's all kinds of things that can happen to it to keep us from being our true authentic self. And so I think as a result, many times we can end up making commitments or promises or things to people that, and you know, we can't really keep the commitment because we didn't even know that that's who we are, or what weren't, right? It's like, it all comes down to being your authentic self. And I think that that's really what I feel about that, is like, you know, if people can just be truthful. Right, Dandelion Dreamer. Hurting people hurt people, right? Yeah, totally. And if you don't know what you're getting into, or you don't know what you're committing to, of course you're going to let someone down, but you're mostly going to let yourself down, right? So I think it's, you know, it all gets back to that, the old adage of know thyself. Know thyself is what's so important, because when we know ourselves, we know better what we can commit to, what we can promise, what we can do, all that, you know. And then we have a lot less, you know, chance of letting ourselves or someone else down, right? But then, of course, that's why relationships get tricky and interesting, is because, you know, that brings two people into it. And we can't control the other person. We can only control ourselves. We can only do that. We can't control or, you know, shape or mold the other person, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe in settling, and maybe that's why I'm often very lonely, Jason. I'm not as lonely now that I've got the channel and stuff like that, but yeah, I am a person that really only has as many people as I've known in my life, and trust me, I've known a lot. When you're a performing musician and you do the kind of work I do, you meet lots of people, but only a little handful has really stuck it out for the long haul, right? And I've certainly had plenty of people, friends, loves. Oh yeah, let you down in big, fat, nasty ways. Um, and you know, it's not all their fault. You know, it's all a dynamic of the two people involved. It's not all on them. But I think sometimes we get really, you know, it's a wishful thinking. It's a wishful thinking that comes in, and I will say that for my Venus and Pisces. There's a wishful thinking there, like, oh, they're just gonna be great, and they're gonna, you know, do all these things, and it's like, Ariel, look at who they really are. You know. So that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And it's not that you have to be alone, but it's just be a little more discerning, you know, on getting to know people, and give it time. Give it time. Give it time. You know, that's my Capricorn side. Just let it, give things time. Time reveals all things. Tolstoy said the two greatest warriors are patience and time. I think that's what he said. Yeah. And it makes sense, right? It's just like, it's patience and time. Time reveals all things. It really, really does. It reveals the measure of people. It reveals, it's true, Gwen. Positive does attract positive. And even if somebody kind of plays with you for a long time, or is not truthful to you, you're going to find it out. Like, they can't hide forever. And the more that you learn to trust yourself, and the more that you learn to love yourself, that's the big one too, is self-love. Oh, I will never stop talking about that. Because when you're capable of loving yourself as much as you're capable of giving that love away to someone else, then you're going to much more naturally do the right thing for you. You know, that it's just the way it is. Because, you know, it's like, I would say many times we beat up on ourselves far more and far worse than we ever beat up on anyone else, right? We do. It's that inner critic. We're always our own worst critic, our own worst judge, right? And so it's really like, give yourself the same grace. Afford yourself the same mercies that you afford to other people that don't even treat you that well. And everything starts to change around when you do that. And I also recommend looking at things as an observer, as a non-emotional observer. If you can get some detachment on your personal relationships, if they're not treating you well, or they're not doing something that you like, it's your choice to stay in that or not. And you can observe their behavior and kind of file it away and go, okay, they did that. Okay, they said that. All right. You know, take it in and decide what you want to do with it. They're not forcing you to stay in there with them. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can walk away at any time. Unless it's like a kidnapping or hostage situation, and then you just freaking need to call the police. But in most situations, you can't get out of there. Oh, goodness. Yeah. It's really going to be okay, Jason. I think what a lot of folks are doing is really learning greater discernment, greater self-love, and healthier emotional boundaries, you know? Yeah. Yep. Aww. Yeah. That's why I'm very protective of my channel and the people that are on here, and whenever we have like a creepy person or anything infiltrate the group, I deal with it very directly. A lot of people won't do it. I do. You know, like it or not. I will absolutely deal with that, because I will not have like covert narcissists and abusers and people creeping around in here. I just won't do it. I won't put up with that. So, you know, you can't get it right all the time, but I try to keep things very above board and very, you know, transparent here. I'm an Aquarius rising. We just don't quarter to that. Like, no, we don't hide things back. We don't hold it back. Like, if something's wrong, we're just like, ah! Get it out, you know? And that's important, Jason, to feel safe in a space. There's not enough places like that online or in real life, right? Yeah, HP, it definitely was. And it was important to do it because, yeah, that was happening. That was happening. I'm so glad. Yeah, you've been here a long time. You've been here since almost the very beginning that I started this channel. Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, but there are a lot of predators out there, and I'm not talking about like violent predators. I mean like emotional predators, and that's a lot more what's the word? It's subtle. It's real subtle, and it's real hard to define it, right? It's very easy to define abuse if somebody's like physically hitting you or doing something, you know, overt. But if they're just abusing you emotionally, psychologically, it's a lot harder to prove, and it's also a lot less it's a much more blurry line for walking away. Many people will immediately walk away from somebody that might hit them or physically hurt them, but if they're emotionally and psychologically tearing them up, they don't really walk away as quickly because it's a lot harder to define. It's so much more you know, blurry. It's not as clear. Yeah. And, you know, unfortunately, that's also something in society, right? You know, you can't call the cops and say, this guy's psychologically abusing me. They're like, well, we need to see some bruises or some blood, right? You know, before we intervene a lot of the time. Yeah. So it's tough. It can be tough. And I think that because when you're spiritual or empathic or sensitive, you're going to see a lot more of that around. And so, yeah, we have to be really enlightened, empathic people. We have to be really empathic and enlightened about what that is to protect our light and protect our good energy. Because people like that they just come after it. Because narcissists, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of course, you know, the psychological definitions of it, but at the heart of it, it's really just people that don't feel like they're good enough and don't have enough energy of their own, so they have to go find somebody who's a good source of energetic supply to keep them fueled, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's super manipulative. It really is. And it's crazy making. Like they can really, they can do number. They can twist you into thinking that you're the problem. Oh. My life is, I was in a relationship that was narcissistic for many years, and I got out of it years ago. And it's like, my life is so much better now. It's so good now. And I'm like, and this dude like kept telling me that I was the problem, and I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. The only problem inside me was I wasn't willing to see it and walk away sooner. That's it. You know, I just kept giving the benefit of the doubt again and again. Am I being traversed by a bug? I might be getting traversed by a bug. I feel something walking around on my back. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. We just have to be really vigilant. And even if you are, you sometimes can't avoid it anyway. Because, you know, narcissists, a lot of them are just fabulous con artists. They're really good at it. So, you know, anybody that's ever been a target or a victim of all that or survived through that, you know, never beat yourself up, because they're really good. They're really, like, they could sell, you know, snow to people living in Alaska. They're so good at conning people and making you believe that they're sincere. That's the thing. So don't ever beat yourself up. Don't. No. That's the first key. We're on Libra now. Transformation Queen. Thanks for getting me back on track. All right, Libra, let's see what we've got for you. This should be a good one for Libra, because Gemini is a trine to your sign. I know that Thankfully, I've been hearing a lot of good news from my Libra friends lately. One of my best Libra friends had a piece of property she'd been trying to sell for many years and finally got that put through. So very exciting, that kind of thing coming through finally, you know, and those are the things that sometimes Mercury retrogrades can bring through for us as well, is that something that we've been either working on a long time or trying to get pushed through, you know, finally budges. That's a good thing that can happen during Mercury retrogrades. So let's see what we got for you, Libra, for this new moon solar eclipse in Gemini. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, show us our beautiful Libras and what we are bringing through for them for this new moon solar eclipse transit in Gemini. Oh, yes, look at this. The sun is your archetype. I'm in love with this. And of course, this is the same as the sun card. Good fortune. You can achieve your goals and dreams. The sun is shining. Holiness, cycles of our world, greater peace, greater prosperity, positive messages and energy coming through. The sun and the star is really, you know, the two most positive cards of the tarot. And so the fact that you're getting this, Libra, it does not surprise me at all, because I do feel like a lot of positive things and positive forces are moving. But, you know, because this is also your archetype card, that's what you're embodying with this. I feel like you are in a very positive mindset as well. Like you're just in a really positive mindset here, Libra. I think that your vitality is returning too. Your energy is returning. And I've definitely seen that in my Libra friends. Like they're getting like their mojo back. They really are. It's like, because they've just been, it's like it's been a slog. They feel like they've been just kind of like trudging through molasses for a while, and now it's like things are moving. They're moving. And we've really had, oh, my Libras, y'all, you went through one hell of a year last year with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all in Capricorn squaring your sign. Y'all been through it. So in a lot of ways, I feel like this is like finally things are falling away. Finally, you know, you're starting to feel like, whew, you know. And I remember saying that it was like things aren't going to start really getting a lot nicer until we hit into that kind of June, you know, season. Also, the other thing that's beautiful for you, Libra, is that, you know, Saturn, instead of squaring you in Capricorn, is now trining you in Aquarius. So it's like now, whereas you felt like all the work you were doing was just going nowhere, now it feels like it's gaining momentum. Yeah, now it feels like it's starting to pick up. Yeah, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. That's how I feel with this for you. Let's get into some moonology for Libra. Let's get 3 on this reading, please. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Nothing will come of the situation. We start out with a void of course moon. So I feel like, you know, this is really saying, yet again, we had similar message to Virgo, which is really about not pushing the river, not forcing things into being, not pushing a situation if the energy and the momentum just isn't there. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You and your loved ones are safe with the new moon of Cancer. So to me, anything that is regarding home, family, your roots, where you live, that's all being very strongly highlighted. And it's a really nice message, right? It's really just a good message to say that things are solid, things are stable, don't worry about it. And what do you need to release? There's that waning moon. And of course, the waning moon comes after the full moon in 2 weeks. But during this cycle, you know, I feel like there's a lot of, it's like in with the new and out with the old. We're bringing in a lot of new energies, right? And we're pushing out a lot of old paradigms. A lot of things are shifting. And so I really do love the way that feels. I like it quite a bit. And yet, similar for Virgo, don't overstress, don't over worry. Pay attention to the things that are coming in that are good for you. Don't worry so much about the things that are going out. The only thing that you might want to do with that is to just identify what it is that you want to release. What is it that you're letting go? What is it that's just kind of getting shoved out the door? So let's get some clarifiers on this. I just feel like y'all are just doing a little spring cleaning. Get out your spiritual feather duster and just, you know, clean out those old cobwebs, you know. That's really what it feels like. Open up the windows, air the place out, let the sun shine in. Let's get some clarifiers, please, on the Moonology. We're getting a lot of this coming in. I think this is very interesting. We got that blue moon card coming up in here again. So on top of this, you know, nothing will come of the situation. Void, of course, moon. We've got that hot moon of extremes. That's the full moon of July. So it's at, you know, it's those extremes, the back and forth, the up and down, the black and white. Yeah. Anything that feels like it's really pulling you too far in either direction, that's what you just kind of release. That's what you just let go of. Because Libra, you're not about having your scales pulled in two different directions. You're about balancing those scales. You're not into the extremes. You are wanting to get to that middle path and have that balance and that harmony and equilibrium. So anything that makes you feel off kilter, anything that needs to be brought back into balance, that's what I would focus on. Like if you've been working too much and not having enough social time, or vice versa, you know what to do. Right on the center, look at that. You know, family, home, loved ones are safe. We got that blue moon, the unexpected, and that's kind of like those, you know, unexpected miracles, unexpected divine events. And I really like the way that that feels, because to me it feels like, you know, the way that you configure your home, family life, things like that, could have a really unexpected twist or something that you may not have thought of before, but it comes in and it's like, oh, wow. You know, it's a new way of seeing things. To me, I always say whenever you get the blue moon card, stay flexible. You know, stay flexible, because it's really about, you know, being open to the unexpected, being open to the interesting little miracles or things that come up in our path. What you need to release is the long night's moon, that darkness card. This is the full moon, I believe, of December. Yeah, it's the December full moon, and it is. It's that cold time of the year, right? It's that Capricorn time, that Capricorn season. And so what I feel like you need to release is that sense of loneliness, is that sense of maybe, you know, kind of brooding in that shadow side, or brooding in, you know, sort of that feeling of isolation or anything like that. That's been really hard for Libra, especially through, you know, a year of going back and forth with quarantines, isolation, because Libra, you're a very social sign, right? You're not like us Capricorns. Capricorns, we can freaking sit around home by ourselves and we're like, yeah, this rocks. I don't have to deal with any dumb people. But Libra's like, but I want to see some dumb people. So, you know, Libra, that's not been easy. And I think that it's time to start letting go of the isolation, the loneliness, that feeling of sadness, right? It's time to reconnect for sure. The only thing that makes me want to get out sometimes is my Aquarius rising. But Capricorn, oh, we're terrible. We can just sit around eating or dinner and like hanging by ourselves and we're like, this is cool. Libra's not built that way. I have a Libra sister, is never that way. Like, I was just always fine just doing my thing by myself, and she was always the social butterfly running around with everyone. But then when they would meet me, they'd want to hang out with me too, because they'd find out I was kind of interesting. So I'd always end up stealing some of her friends. I didn't have to go make my own friends, I just stole hers. Libras always have extra friends to steal. All right, Libra, let's get you an affirmation on this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, this is exciting, Libra. Your affirmation card is the sun. Your archetype card is the sun. I'm very happy about that. The golden energy of the sun brings fame, fortune, and better luck. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, bright sun shining on you. This is beautiful. What a great synchronicity there. Yeah. In spite of any loneliness, in spite of any feelings of isolation, transit, change, I think you're coming into a very positive place with this new moon solar eclipse. Yeah, and the solar eclipse is all about bringing greater positivity into our life. You know, the lunar eclipse is what do we want to release and let go of, and the solar is what are we bringing in, right? So I feel like you are releasing some things. There's no doubt. You had that waning moon. You had that release. That's why it really feels like out with the old, in with the new. Very much on this reading for you, Libra. What a great one. I love these. Oh, hey, Jason, we're here for you guys. We know about funks. We got the funk. Or at least we know how to get rid of the funk. Something like that. Yeah. Oh, trust me. You got some folks with, I got 4 planets in Capricorn. You got Jason in here. Yeah, hippie devils know the funk. That's for sure, Rachel. That's for sure. You got David in here with 5 planets in Capricorn. You're in a good, grumpy circle of friends here. We understand all about those heavy moods. We do. Sometimes we really learn, like, Capricorn, like, one of our superpowers is, like, laughing at our black moods. Like, we actually have a really morbid sense of humor a lot of time. My dad had a morbid sense of humor. He got that from his Scorpio moon and rising. And we can just laugh at some of the darkest stuff. But it's so healing to be able to kind of laugh at the heaviness of your own life, because it helps you to not take it so seriously, and it helps to transmute the poison into healing medicine. It really does. I absolutely believe that verse of the Bible that says, you know, laughter is good as medicine. It is. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. And they didn't even know about the true things that happen chemically in your body when you laugh. Like, they didn't know about all that back then. But, you know, a merry heart does good as medicine. Yeah, laughter is good. Humor is vital. I swear my cracked sense of humor, my warped sense of humor has helped me survive through life. And it will keep doing it. Yeah. Well, it's also, it again, you know, we talked about that saying about know thyself, but another very deep, short sentiment is this too shall pass. This too shall pass. That is to say that if something really bad or tough is happening, it won't last. So don't take it too heavy. And if something really good is happening, guess what? That won't last either. So be grateful for it. Enjoy it fully. You'll get so much more out of it and be able to, you know, go further on the momentum of it. When you stay in that moment, realizing that both the good and the bad will pass away. So be grateful for the good times when they're there and the good stuff, and hang on to that, and remember that the heavy things won't last either, right? They can't. They can't. It's the nature of change. It's just that when the things that we don't like are happening, we tend to focus on it a little more, and that's why they seem to last longer. Yep. All right. Scorpio. What we got for Scorpio? Scorpio, Gemini is a really interesting sign for you. It is. Because Gemini is so talk. Oh, yeah. Scorpio, not so much. Not so much. They are usually pretty secretive. They are. So this is an interesting new moon for you guys. Let's see what we've got for Scorpio. Very excited to see. You know, the universal place that Gemini falls into for Scorpio. Let's see. I think that would be, because we put Scorpio there, Taurus there. Yeah, and that's the other interesting thing, is that Gemini actually rules that 8th house for Scorpio. So they really do represent the house of mystery for you. That's why Scorpio just looks at Gemini and goes, how'd you get to be like that? That's the question. All right. Let's see what's coming through for you guys, because our new moon and solar eclipse, this is very powerful. I think it's going to help you actually get deeper into the heart of why you think the way you think, why your mind functions the way it does, Scorpio, because that Gemini connection has a real connection with your own 8th house, your Scorpio house. So I think this is really, it's a very interesting activation for you guys. So let's go ahead and start our reading for you. We're going to start with one main archetype card from the Ibiza Tarot Oracle. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us our beautiful Scorpios for the new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini of 2021. Whatever they are bringing in and what they need to know for their highest good, please. Ah, very nice. You've got the Greek, the fire element. This is the Queen of Wands in this beautiful deck. Helpful advice is coming from a friend. Say thank you, be grateful, return the favor, be outgoing without exaggerating. This is some strong Leo energy that's on this card. You know, there's our Queen of Wands. She's very magic. She's very esoterical and mystical. Great manifester. Open, generous heart, very warm kind of energy, right? Very, very creative, really knows how to put things into motion. She's definitely a leader. There's a leadership energy, Scorpio. So you may be getting called to take the lead somewhere very beautifully. But that is you. And when we have that image of the Greek, I think of, you know, the great philosophers, right? You know, and that may be something as well that's emerging very strongly in you, is your personal life philosophies. You may be putting those into greater motion or action. Let's get some Moonology cards on this for Scorpio, please. Let's start with 3. Wow. This card is coming up a lot too in these readings. The first one coming through is the full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. So yeah, you're definitely tapping into the Gemini energy for sure. Because we've got the Gemini power going on right now. We are proper in Gemini season. So Scorpio, I feel like, you know, with this combination, I always get the sense that you've been, for some of you, you've really been pondering some questions, asking some questions of the universe, really, and it may be going on for quite a while. This could be going on for even years for some of you. I can feel that. And it's sort of, this is that feeling of like, I just need the answers. I just need to know what I should do. I just need the information. When am I ever going to get it? Am I going to get closure on this situation? And I'm going to get the green light to go ahead on something else over here. Just feel all that. So I feel like with this, you know, this next 2 weeks, there could be quite an influx of information, communication coming through, finally feeling these answers, and it could just be even things hitting you on a real subconscious level, just total messages from spirit. Don't push the river. I'm saying this one a lot tonight. We got that void of course moon coming out again. This is coming out in a lot of people's reads tonight. Nothing will come of the situation. So don't overstress. Don't over worry. Allow things to unfold and just know that the answers and the information that you need are coming, right? Just know that they're coming. New moon in Cancer. Your loved ones are safe. You and your loved ones are safe. The home environment is solid. And the other thing that I would say about this, you know, over this next few weeks for you, Scorpio, you may be really doing some soul searching as well around the area of home, family, where do you want to live? Because new moon energy is the same as the new moon, you know, Gemini energy that we're stepping into right now. Very interesting. And so it is about that, you know. You might be really, some of my Scorpios may really be saying, do I want to continue living where I live? Am I happy where I am? Is my family happy where we are? Should we move? You know, that could be something that either you've thought about in the past or starts to come up very strongly during this cycle. Because to me, new moon in Cancer feels like looking for a new home. Just straight up. Like just pure message of that. Let's see what we've got in your clarifications. I'm going to use from the Queen of the Moon deck here for Scorpio. Scorpio! This card is coming up a lot too, but this one to me feels very appropriate to you. The hot moon of extremes, because you are a sign of extremes, Scorpio. You're very black and white. You're very do it all the way or don't do it at all. Love or hate. There's not a lot of middle. And so I feel like, you know, the information and the messages, the answers, the information that you need, the real key is to not take it too heavy either way when you get it, but be willing to see both sides, right? Because that's the power of Gemini, is seeing both sides of a situation, seeing both sides of, you know, somebody's story, right? It's like not just saying, well, it only can be this way or it can only be that way. This is definitely about finding the middle path. That's going to help you navigate where you need to go so much better. And like I said, you know, this Gemini energy is activating your universal Scorpio house. So not only are you a Scorpio, but you're dealing with that activation. So it's really about changing the way that you communicate and maybe not having it be quite so polarized. Very important. Right in the center. You are going to have to be a little patient, Scorpio. I know I can already hear some of my Scorpions yelling at me. But I'm going to say it anyway. We've got the green corn moon. That's the full moon of September. And that is a patience card, sure. You know, this is taking one step at a time, planting the harvest, reaping the harvest. And that's why I would say this is important to say, you know, Scorpio, if the timing just isn't right or doesn't feel right or the energy isn't there to push ahead on your plans, you know, just hang in there. Don't push it before the timing is right. Timing is really key. It's really key. It's really critical to all this. I feel like that's coming up in a lot of people's readings, not just yours, Scorpio. The timing thing is a really big deal. With this new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini. On top of the new moon in Cancer card, we have the fear card. That is a waxing gibbous. That's like right before the full moon. And so what I feel for any of my Scorpios that are dealing with a family issue or maybe, you know, a moving issue where you're moving homes or changing homes, there may be some fears around it. That's why this is really, you know, comforting you and saying, don't worry, you're going to be safe. You're going to be happy. You're going to be fine. But there is fear that comes up around this. There is fear that comes up around that situation. You might be afraid to move. You might be saying, oh gosh, but if I get into a new place, will it work out? Will it not? You know, there's that feeling. There's that feeling of confronting those deeper issues, those deeper fears, those things that you're really holding on to inside. And for some of you, not all, for not many, but there may be some of you that have actually had something kind of scary happen in the home. Some of you might have even had a break-in or something going on, and it makes you feel like, I got to get out of here, because you're really concerned about where you are and if it's safe or not, right? That's the thing for just a few of you out there. All right, guys, it's a powerful read. Let's get into a affirmation for you, Scorpio. The Trinka 5, manifesting money and income. That's beautiful. I love the 555. That's a really, really good one for you, Scorpio. So to me, this is all about, you know, bringing in enough money, manifesting what you need to go forward in your journey. And you do have that powerful Queen of Wands as your archetype right now. So Scorpio, stay balanced, stay in the middle path. Don't go to extremes. Be patient as things unfold. And don't fall prey to your fears. Don't fall prey to your fears. You're gonna be fine. You are safe. You're supported. I think no matter what your decision is. Yeah. But it really is about what's doing best. What's you know, it is doing what's best for everyone involved, including yourself. And really, yeah, following your personal heart, your personal philosophy to life, you know, following where the heart leads. where that passion follows you, or directs you, I should say. Ooh. Good ones. Good ones, guys. These are good. Baltimore is a tough town, David. We know that. That's a tough place. Yeah. All right, Sagittarius. I don't know if I got any Saggies in the house, but let's see what we've got going on for you guys. Hope y'all are doing great. Gemini new moon and solar eclipses. Oh my goodness, Saggy. I'm telling you what, this is a powerful one for you because that stuff is aspecting your universal relationship house. So this could bring in new messages, new energies, new communication in the relationship world. Whether you're single, coupled, or in separation, this is really activating that house for you. Let's see what comes up in your cards before I say any more, because I got all kinds of feelings about it. Let's see what happens. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us what you have for our beautiful Sagittarians for the Gemini new moon and solar eclipse in 2021. Whatever they need for their highest good, show us what's coming in for them. Hey. What did I say about relationships? The octopus. Yes, Sagittarius. Check that out. Water element, Knight of Cups. Going after your heart's desires. Victory through cleverness and knowledge, right? I would also say it's victory through emotional transparency, being willing to offer up your heart, being very open about your feelings. But I love that archetype for you, Sagittarius. And this is just a funny, like, weird connection for me personally, because I used to have, I don't know where it is, I don't know if I still have it, I used to have a hand puppet that was an octopus. And it was the funniest darned thing. And I used to call him the octopus of love. And he would like hug people. So I'd like hug people with the octopus. And I was like, I am the octopus of love. Feel the love. And so I can't help but say, Sagittarius, you might be a little bit of that octopus of love. You know what I'm saying? With this Knight of Cups, right? Because the Knight of Cups is somebody that gets on their horse. They go in the direction of somebody they love, usually with a love offer, or somebody's coming in to see you with a love offer. So little octopus of love, yes. I know it's kind of silly and crazy, but it's just that's what hits me here. Could be an Aquarius or a Pisces. That's very strong signs associated with the Knight of Cups. Could also show that you have some pretty high ideals about love or a love partner. So let's get into some cards for you, Saggy. Let's see what we've got. Yes, I did. I said love octopus. The octopus of love was a little hand puppet of mine. I need to find that sucker again. That thing was hilarious. Let me get into some moonology for you, Saggy. Let's see what else is coming in around this read for you. Oh my goodness. Yes. Wow. All right. Be bold and make the first move. That's, you know, and that Knight of Cups is your archetype. That's what you're really being guided to be, right? And so you are being guided to be bold, to make the first move. We have a cardinal moon. Cardinal moon signs, or cardinal signs in general, are going to be our leadership signs: Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. So if any of those signs are involved, that could be speaking even stronger to you. But this is about being bold. Maybe making that love offer, or making an emotional offer coming from the heart. Right in the center, we have got the full moon in Pisces. And so it's funny because the Knight of Cups is a very strong Pisces card. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. You might be asking yourself something about a relationship. You know, it may feel like a soulmate, may feel like a twin flame, and you're kind of going, yeah, I really feel strongly led to this person, but is it practical? Can we actually like have a relationship? Will it work out in the real world, right? We do as well have the full moon in Cancer. Lots of water on this reading for you. So this is a personal issue reaching resolution. So I do feel over this next 2 weeks, Sagittarius, you just got to be bold, make the moves you're guided to take. Um, talk to the object of your affection if you haven't already. If that's a situation that you're going through in life, or if they come in to talk to you, be very open, and talk about not just the emotional spiritual connection, but also about the practical steps that it's going to take for you to actually be together. Because with cardinal energy, this is really saying, it's all well and good to have those wonderful feelings and that connection, but unless it's like you can practically make it work, then what good is it, right? It needs a base, it needs some support under this. But it's a very emotional energy coming through for this new moon. It is the octopus of love. Oh, it's adorable. So let's get some clarification on this, Sagittarius, with the Queen of the Moon. Let's see what we've got to deepen these messages for you. Wow. I do feel like there's a real twin flame potential in this read for some of y'all. So clarifying the cardinal moon. Yeah, be bold, make the first move, step into your power. And I think that part of this is kind of taking your power back, especially if you have felt kind of disempowered or beat down in some way, Sagittarius, or discouraged. This is really encouraging you to get back kind of literally on the horse, right? Because it is a knight. The knight gets on the horse and it goes and gets what it wants. So this is really saying, don't be afraid, right? And even if you're nervous, take action anyway. Right in the center, on top of that Pisces full moon, we've got the self-reflection card. And so this is how I feel. It's like this really feels like twin flame soulmate. It could also be the relationship you have with yourself, right? Because we have this duality here in both of these cards. So this is a time of self-reflection, and it's also a time of feeling like, that very close personal relationship is you're reflecting yourselves back to each other. There's some mirroring going on in this situation. At the end of this, look at that on top of the Cancer full moon card with the personal issues reaching resolution. We have the masculine lunar god. So this again, it's stepping into that sort of leadership role, because that's the more masculine side, the more aggressive, more assertive side of the lunar energies. So I really do feel like when it comes to love, when it comes to connection, it's like you've got to be bold. You've got to be bold to be able to say, yeah, especially if it's a mutual thing, right? If it's a mutual connection, you both feeling it, you both know it, you're both in love with each other, or at least in like with each other, right? It's like you have to talk about this stuff, and you have to be willing, Sagittarius, to say, I'm going to step up. If we want to make a home together, we're going to make a home together. Let's make a plan, because you do need a solid groundwork to launch your dreams from. Nice read. Let's get into a affirmation for our Sagittarians. Octopus of love. That's what it is. The earth element, Sagittarius. Ask the element of earth for grounding, stability, and strength in times of chaos. Like I said, you need a solid base. I feel like a lot of y'all have some kind of really beautiful emotional or spiritual relationship connection right now, but you just need the solid planning. You need to go for it. Yeah, you gotta go for it here with this kind of read. I'm totally gonna try to find my octopus hand puppet now. Man, I haven't thought about that in forever. That was one of the funniest things I used to do. Because I'm Aquarius rising. I'd put the octopus, and it would you just kind of grab on someone's head and go, I am the octopus of love. Feel the love. Oh yes, I love you. Yeah. I used to do that to people all the time with my little octopus plush puppet. Oh my gosh. I love that. You are the octopus of love, Sagittarius. Go get it. Go get it. This is a great stream. We got hippie devils and octopus of loves. Yes. It was really adorable, Gwen, and funny, and it really sorted out whether or not somebody could be my friend or not, because once you grab somebody by the face or the head with an octopus puppet and say that to them, like, they're either going to think it's hilarious and awesome and want to be your buddy, or they're going to think you're completely nuts and run away. It's a really good litmus test. I encourage anyone to get an octopus hand puppet and do the same thing. You'll very quickly discern who can hang with you and who can't. Definitely one of my prouder Aquarius rising moments. All right, so let's get into the Capricorn. Yay, yes. How are my Capricorns doing? My fabulous goats out there. Oh my goodness. I hope my Capricorns are awesome. We had a great time on Sunday. Hey there, Corianne. Good to see you, babe. We had a great time on Sunday night. Capricorn had a real fun reading on our Spirit Animal Sunday. So let's get into it, Capricorn. This is interesting for Capricorns because, you know, Gemini rules the 6th house of Virgo for us. So this can really get into a lot of our habits, our routines, things that need to be cleansed from our mind. I've been feeling that. I've been feeling some really interesting recurrences of old mental habits and patterns from the past sort of really rearing up for attention. And I'm like, oh, like that's what that is. So Capricorn, I feel like we're kind of being called to clear out and heal our mind of a lot of old negative thought patterns. That's a big one. That's a real big one. Hey there, Francisco. Good to see you. All right, so let's start out, Capricorn. We're going to start with one of our Ibiza Tarot Oracle cards for your personal archetype. And then we're going to get into your moon cards. So dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us what's going on with our beautiful Capricorns for this new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini of 2021. Please show us anything they need for their highest good coming through. Oh, yeah, Capricorn. Your archetype is the olive tree. And of course, the first thing I think of with the olive tree is, you know, that's the old line about extending the olive branch of peace, right? It's a symbol of peace. Element of earth, page of pentacles. So this is, you know, new ventures, new hobbies, new career paths, new courses of study. Look at risk and reward factors around things. It's the season of winter, which is definitely Capricorn season. And it's definitely big Capricorn energy, also Taurus and Virgo, because it's very earthy. The Page of Pentacles is very much about taking that coin of worth, you know, that investment that they want to make, and they want to put it into something new and good. It's like, let's build something new. So Capricorn, over the next couple of weeks, you may be really thinking very strongly about, what do I want to do for work going into the future? What do I want to invest in? Maybe where I would like to travel. Page of Pentacles is our little adventurer of the tarot, right? So it definitely puts on its walking shoes, gets its backpack ready. It's, you know, it's ready to move. It's ready to go somewhere new. But with a good plan, right? Page of Pentacles, similar to the Knight of Pentacles, definitely plans ahead before they get going. So I do like the way that feels. Could be a very, you know, like a calculated risk. But the olive tree, the earth element, feels so fabulous to me. For you, Capricorn, it feels very rooted, grounded, very peaceful. It feels super peaceful, and maybe bringing you, you know, a peaceful feeling after a lot of chaos. That's usually like, you know, after you've had a conflict, after you've had trouble with someone, somebody's got to extend the olive branch of truce, of peace, of, you know, harmony, right? That's what that really feels like to me. So let's get into some cards for Capricorn. Let's get 3 from our Moonology deck on this for the goats. Wow, Capricorn. This is nice. What nice cards, and they're all in the same color. I like this. So we're starting out with the Cardinal Moon. Same card that Sagittarius started out with. Be bold and make the first move. And Capricorn, you are a cardinal sign, so this fits right into your personal energy. So don't sit around and wait for someone else to take action for you. Do it yourself. Many times Capricorns do have that attitude anyway, but this is really encouraging that even more, especially if there's something you've been timid, afraid, worried to take action on. It's really saying, don't be afraid, Capricorn. Go ahead, get going. The energy is gaining momentum in your favor. Look at that with the waxing moon. The new moon starts our waxing moon cycle, and so this is building to the full. Things getting, you know, going, getting that momentum started. And then on the outcome, look at this. Libra moon, full moon, a win-win outcome is forecast. So I feel like things are just going in a really nice direction. You're coming into personal balance, and it's as a result of you really taking the initiative to get things done, to keep the momentum rolling. If you've had a few good successes, it's time to just keep building on that, right? And the feeling that I get too is that this could really involve love or partnership, because Libra is our marriage sign, right? It's our partnership sign, relationship sign, and harmony. So, you know, having that win-win outcome really tells me as well that Capricorn, you're coming into a place where not only are you going to get what you want and be happy, but they're going to get what they want and be happy too. And for those of you that are in a relationship or are working on a relationship, trying to heal one, etc., this could really be a very, very nice trajectory to you. And yeah, like I said, did you notice that all these cards are the same kind of color? I'm just saying, they're, you know, the colors are even in agreement on this for you guys. So let's get some clarification. We're going to deepen these messages up for you with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Wow. That card's been coming up a lot in these reads tonight. First off, though, look at this. The worm moon, the faith moon. That's the full moon of March. That's, you know, when the spring really starts to come back around. So to me, it's patience, it's faith, it's trusting in the process, definite Empress energy, Mother Earth energy. So it's really like, again, can't push things faster than they're going to go. And Capricorn, you're very much a sign that is all about, you know, show me the results, show me the money, show me the manifestation. You're not a sign that necessarily takes things on faith, but you're going to have some faith. You're going to have to trust in yourself, trust in the divine, trust in your partnerships or friends that are helping you along the way. I know that's a little bit of a challenge, but that's what it is, Capricorn. You got to have some faith on this. You just gonna gotta. Right in the center, the energy is gaining momentum, and we have the card of boundaries. So Capricorn, you might have to say no to certain people as you keep hoofing it up those mountains, because a lot of the time, this is just true, you can seem to be so much more capable and able to handle everything from everywhere. And so everybody wants Capricorn's help. Everybody's like, oh, ask them, you know, because they're reliable, they work hard, they get the job done. But you might have to say no to some people, because a lot of people may be asking you, can you do this project, Capricorn? Can you take on this extra thing that I want you to do? And you might just have to say no, even though you may not want to, but you've really got to have that boundary. You really do, between like work and socialization, because everybody and their best friend might be like, oh, get Capricorn to do it. Nah. Nah. Unless it's really, helping you and your process, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Honestly, right now, I wouldn't. You've got to be able to say, I can help you, but here's my stipulations. Here's my agreement that you've got to, be okay with, right? It's really that kind of thing. Because I get a feeling you're going to be very busy. That's just, that's goats. We're busy people. But I really feel it's like energy gaining momentum, cardinal moon. It's like you're going to be busy. This next 2 weeks is going to be a lot getting done. And on top of this, check it out, our lunar god, the masculine divine energy, the masculine side of that feminine lunar energy coming in here. This card has been coming up actually in a lot of our readings tonight, and I think it really does point to this fact that it is time to take action. It's time to take leadership. It's time to be assertive. It's time to go in the direction of your dreams. Don't give up, right? It's really the balance. And so if you've been a little too passive, Capricorn, it's time to be a little more assertive about what you want to get and where you want to go. It's that combination of balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And we really did have like super divine feminine with this faith energy. She's such a divine mother goddess, right? So we really do have like super, super divine feminine and masculine showing up in this reading as well. Nice read, Capricorn. Can't say anything bad about this one at all. This is just pure green light. Go for it. Go for it. Let's get an affirmation on this for you. Successful career. Yeah, and I do absolutely feel that you are working on your job. You're working on your career. You're working on manifesting some better things into your life. Happy working environment, pay raises and promotions. And I do feel as well that that boundary card could have a lot to do with that kind of thing, right? Because the energy is gaining momentum. You deserve to get paid for your work. You deserve to be recognized for your effort. Which is usually a lot more than most people even know that you're doing. Raise your hand if you've been in that situation. Boy, I've been in that situation as a Capricorn, where you're working a job and you're doing so much. They don't even realize how much you're doing because it just, getting all that work done comes so naturally to you. And then when you leave, they're like, oh my gosh, you were doing all that. It's like, yeah. Now you're going to have to get 3 people to do the one job that I was doing. That's a goat. But you may have to put a boundary like that down. You may have to leave something behind because they're not respecting it enough. Yeah, Capricorns, we need to get out of that pack animal mentality sometimes, because boy, we can just take on all that stuff. And we're tough. Like we can do it. We can haul that, but we don't have to. We don't have to take it all on. I know we're a sign of responsibility and all that stuff, but we don't have to be responsible for everyone else. We need to remember that. That's the only thing that sometimes can really slow us down. Wish my hair would just stay where I put it. It just keeps falling in my face. It's driving me nuts. I like it, goats. There is a way to please both you and your partner in that read, But it's not by bending over backwards and doing things that make you feel totally uncomfortable, right? Yeah. I feel like there's 2 distinct sides of that reading as well. One is very much more about like love relationships, and one's about career. Yeah. I would also say, a lot of people saying they've been sleepy. During Mercury retrogrades, I am more tired. I am more tired during retrogrades always. I do not know what that is for me personally. Not everybody experiences that, but I definitely have more fatigue. I need to sleep more during retrogrades, always. During those Mercury times, I got to rest. It's like it just wears me out. We were always the crazy people in the neighborhood, David. We were totally weird. We were the strangest ones. We had the crazy looking dogs, the weird old cars that barely ran half the time. No, we were not normal. Ah. All right, Aquarius, let's see what we've got for you coming up. Aquarius, I will say, just like Libra, you know, you're one of the signs that benefits really greatly from this Gemini transit because it is a trine. It's a fellow air sign. So it really does activate you in a nice way. It's in that, lights up that fifth house universally in your chart. So that's some big creative heart energy there. It really is. It's a nice feeling. I feel like you're really just following your bliss in a lot of ways. You're following, you know, that happier expression, creative expression. Speaking from the heart is very, very favored during this next couple weeks cycle, especially. So let's get into your cards for this. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us what you have for our beautiful Aquarians for the Gemini new moon and solar eclipse of 2021. Please show us any messages that they need for their highest good and what's coming through for them during this cycle. Aww, Aquarius. Look at that. You have the same one Capricorn did. The olive tree is your archetype. The symbol of earth, the page of pentacles. Enjoy new ventures, hobbies, studies. Look at risks and rewards. Same things I'll say about, you know, that I said in the Capricorn reading. This for me feels like a symbol of peace, right? A symbol of, you know, putting down conflicts, letting go of difficult times, especially if you've been in conflict with someone else or even yourself. This is saying it's time for peace, Aquarius. Page of Pentacles is also my little adventure of the zodiac. It does rule the season of winter. It's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy. And so this could really say as well that you're getting ready to embark on a new journey. You're ready to start a new foundation. You could be, you know, thinking about getting into a new home, a new working environment, taking a new class or a new course. But overall, this is a, you know, it's a card that brings in a new adventure and also something new that you want to invest something real and solid into. It's a very nice card. So let's get into your Moonology cards, Aquarius. Let's get 3 on this to start out. What's coming in for you? Oh, I love it. Look at this. All of them are full moon cards. So first out, the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. I feel like that's just a wonderful confirmation because, you know, we are in that Gemini season right now. So anything that you've needed to know, things you've been waiting to find out, those are coming. They're on the way. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right in the center, we have the full moon in Aquarius, your own sign. Show the world the real you. So don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to, you know, be authentic, genuine. Aquarius, you are the most unique people of the zodiac. There's no one quite like you. Aquarians are noted for being the famous radicals, rebels, revolutionaries, and weirdos of the zodiac. That's my rising sign, so I love Aquarius energy. But don't be afraid to be who you really are. Love who you really love. Do what you really want to do. And don't worry about what anyone else says. Most of the time you don't. Most of the time I would say Aquarius doesn't really worry about that. But if you've had any residual fears or inhibitions around that, let them go. Let them go. Step into your real self. Into the last card, we've got another full moon. All 3 were full moons for you in this read. And this is the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. This is very self-affirming kind of reading to me. This feels like it's bringing in a greater sense of peace for you, a greater sense of positivity and information about where you're going next in life. And it's really saying, be true to yourself, Be who you really are, because that itself is good enough. That you don't have to be a fake person. You don't have to put on a fake persona or try to please the crowd. Just be you. And that is absolutely more than good enough. Let's get into some clarification with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Let's deepen up these messages for you. Wow, these are so nice. These are so nice. So here we go. On top of the full moon in Gemini, we have the fear card. So to me, you are moving through some old fears. You're moving through some old feelings that, maybe you didn't think, you were really going to get the answers you sought, or maybe you're worried about some information that you really need, or you've been putting some vibes out there, putting some messages out there saying, hey, okay, we're going away. Bye-bye. Um, um, so this to me is all about, you might have put out a text message or email, and you might not have got the response that you need yet. So don't get into fear. Don't get into worries, Aquarius, because the information that you need is coming, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But you might be looking at a little bit of that shadow side of yourself. You might be. And here we go. Look at this right here. Look at this. This is beautiful, because show the world the real you, and then acceptance. So this literally is saying, accept the true you, accept your authentic self, and choose to be with people that accept your true self. That's a beautiful card. Beautiful combination. I really, really like that. And look at the outcome here. Look at the outcome here. We have got the full moon in Virgo, and on top of that, we've got the flower moon, the blossoming. Even the colors are the same between these two. That beautiful, flourishing green. And our last full moon was the flower moon. That was our full moon in Sagittarius, the lunar eclipse that we just had 2 weeks ago. So I feel like something is coming very full circle that started at the end of May. This is so nice. I love it. This is just really a reading of being at peace with yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself as you are, choosing to be around people that love you for you, that don't require you to have to be a certain way for them or any of that. They just love all your idiosyncrasies and your unusual ways of being and thinking. Aquarius, I think weird is wonderful. That's just me. I really do. I love when people are authentically themselves. I'm that Aquarius rising, so I really appreciate that in others. And I really encourage you, if you've had anybody put you down for being yourself or being authentic or being true to who you are, don't worry about that. That could be also where that fear card came from. You might have gotten some communication, or somebody might have said something that made you feel, just kind of self-conscious, or made you feel kind of bad about just being who you are. But don't pay attention to them. Don't pay attention to that. Don't worry about that. The right people are going to love you just as you are. My dad was an Aquarius, and he was just a fabulous guy. And I remember he used to say that as long as you know that you're doing the right thing, if you're good with spirit, don't you worry about what anybody else says about what you're doing. Oh, love it. Let's get into a affirmation for Aquarius. And protection. So if you have been have any fears or any kind of worries, Aquarius, you are protected. Strong protective magic for the family and the home. So this goes, beyond you even. So this is protection for yourself. It's protection for your loved ones, no matter where in the world they are. Protection for their home environment. It's a great little sigil to use. You can even draw these or write them down on things, if you do your own ritual work. That's a really great little protection symbol to use there. All these reads have been so good tonight, you guys. They've been so good. I've been really enjoying these. Yeah, you know, trolls are good luck. We did. We had a troll in there. Trolls are great luck because if I wasn't doing anything that was, you know, worth being paid attention to, they wouldn't show up. They wouldn't show up. It's true. Hey, oh, you're welcome, David. You're so welcome. Yeah. Trolls are great. I mean, it's like when I get a troll, it's like, yeah, it's a little annoying. Maybe it throws you a little off for a second, but overall, I'm like, yeah, the reason that they're showing up is because I'm doing, you know, YouTube is obviously recommending this video enough. So yeah. Entrenched. What I'm doing at the end, I've got one more reading to do for the generals. I got Pisces to do. And for anyone that's made a $5 or more donation in my super chat, I will answer, I'll pull some personal cards for you if you have a question. That's what I'm going to do for tonight. So Pisces, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see what we've got for our fabulous magical fishies. Just like Virgo, I will say that Pisces is one of the most challenged of the signs through Gemini season, simply because it squares your sign. It is one of the more challenging times. Whereas for Virgo, we have, you know, the Gemini energy up in their 10th house that's really hitting their career. For Pisces, it's the opposite. All that energy is in that universal 4th house of Cancer, so it's hitting that home and family area, right? The soul's origin. So that can definitely be interesting. I would say that, you know, with that combination for, you know, many of my Pisces, there may be a lot of conversations, good, bad, or ugly coming up in the home environment, things that need to be talked about, things that need to be worked through. Could be coming up in the home environment. So let's get into it. Let's see what we've got for our Pisces. Pisces. Baby shark. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, and ancestors, please show us what we've got coming in for our Pisces for the new moon and solar eclipse in Gemini of 2021. Please let's start them out with one card from the Ibiza Tarot Oracle, what their archetype is for this cycle. Ooh, I like this. There was another, I think Taurus had this card actually. They sent this through, yeah, this was a Taurus one. The Alpine Swift, the Page of Swords, Air Element. Very strong Gemini energy on this one. Very strong Gemini energy. So I do feel like you're really being guided, Pisces, to be clear-minded, to be very incisive, to be flexible in your thinking, to think quickly on your feet, to be willing to consider new sources of information or to think about, you know, known subjects in different ways, right? It's like something that you've already been working on. You've got to think about in a different way. Stay agile, right? If you've ever watched a swift or a swallow, one of these little birds in the air, they can turn on a dime. Like, you know, they're real quick. If they get new information or there's something really tasty over there, they'll go get it. So that's what you got to do, Pisces. If there's something really good over there and it just requires you to be agile and to think a little quicker, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do with this. So let's see. And, you know, that can be challenging because we are in a Mercury retrograde, no doubt. You know, it's a little bit of a challenge. It might require you to step out of, you know, your usual method and way of doing things. Think more clearly with your mind instead of so emotionally and so intuitively. So let's get into the Moonology deck. Let's get 3 cards, please, for Pisces. Aw, yes, like these. You're so good. Bring love into the situation. First card out, new moon in Aquarius, another strong air sign, guys. So bring some love into the situation. Love for yourself, love for the other person. Aquarius knows how to love without getting too emotionally involved. Like they know how to stay a little detached while also still being kind and compassionate. It's interesting, you know, many times people that don't know astrology very well, they think Aquarius is a water sign because they're the water bearer. But let me tell you guys, the symbol, you know, water in astrology is the symbol of emotions and the intuition, the subconscious, and compassion, right? And Aquarius is the water bearer. They don't swim in the water of compassion. They don't swim in the water of messy emotions. They hold it at a distance in a vessel, and they pour that love and compassion and emotion out to the world without allowing it to touch themselves. And this is why many times Aquarians are considered to be emotionally detached or emotionally cool, because they're not mean. They're just not all that messy about it. They're not necessarily going to sit down and cry with you over something. They're more the kind of person that says, okay, you've got a problem, you've got a situation, let's come up with a solution. Let's get thinking. Let's fix this so you're no longer feeling unhappy. That's the way they are. And so Pisces, I could see where you're really being encouraged, because usually you are swimming in that water of emotion, full bore, right? And right now in the Gemini season, it's not really working. And that's where you get a lot of that challenge and difficulty. So it's time to be a little bit more detached. Instead of swimming so much in that water, I want you to be a little bit more at arm's length. See it in a cooler, more rational, more detached. Being detached doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means that you're putting up some healthy emotional boundaries for yourself, right? In the center, the energy is gaining momentum. There it is, our waxing moon. This card has been coming up a lot too, which I'm very happy to see, because we're starting the cycle of the waxing moon beginning, right? And so going into the outcome, we have our new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. So confidence being the key to success here, Aquarius, is very, very beautiful. I almost called you Aquarius, didn't I? Sorry, Pisces. This is a Pisces reading. But you are being encouraged to embrace some of that Aquarian energy. And I also find it's interesting that you've got both the Aquarius card and the Leo card, because these two are the opposites. These are the opposition, right? So it's two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. You know, whereas Aquarius can be a little more emotionally detached, Leo is very emotionally warm, right? And so there's a balance there that has to be struck between being emotionally warm and available and also honoring and protecting yourself enough to be able to interact or provide help or care without it just sucking the life out of you. That's very interesting right there. So be strong, be confident, bring love into the situation, but be willing to put those healthy boundaries in place. Or if the feeling of the place doesn't feel right to you, or something just doesn't feel right, use that intuition, Pisces, and get out of there, because you are the Alpine Swift, our Page of Swords. That is your archetype coming through. So let's get into some clarifiers with the Queen of the Moon. Let's get a little deeper on these messages for you, Pisces. That card has been coming up so much here, guys. The moon of extremes, the hot moon. That's the full moon of next month, of July. And so to me, this is a balancing of extremes, right? And to me, what you're balancing out is the Aquarius-Leo balance. Interestingly enough, that's what's coming in. So it's sort of like there's that feeling of like kind of not caring at all versus caring way, way, way too much. And sort of you need to find a balance. You need to find a happy middle where you're able to help people, able to be a good listener, able to do those things without them just sucking you dry. Because you know what that feels like as a very intuitive sign. You know what it feels like when someone just, you give them an inch and they walk all over you, right? They take a mile or 10, and then you have no energy for yourself. So this is really teaching you some healthy balance and healthy boundaries. I really feel like that's what's coming through for a lot of you folks. And it might be very much in that area of the home and family something going on in the home environment, because that's where all that Gemini is lighting up that universal area of your houses. On top of this, we have focus. We have focus here, Pisces, and to me, this is a transformation of the mind in a big way for you. Yeah, you're changing. You're growing. This is the waxing gibbous too, so it's building up to a transformation. And I think that for a lot of you, the transformation is really using your better judgment, using your mind, and not having to just give 110% to everybody you meet. Because, it's hard for you to not do that sometimes. This is really saying, Pisces, you can be kind and compassionate without, like, literally giving the person all your clothes and money. Like, you don't have to go that far, right? On top of this, right? The wolf moon, the hunger moon, right? This is the full moon of January. It's really also addressing that scarcity mode for you, Pisces. It is. And that's where I think the balance comes in. You don't have to give every single thing that you have in order to still be kind, loving, and giving. You don't. That's something that I had to learn at a very early age. It was like, oh, wait, it's like if like when I was a kid, if I saw somebody that either didn't have lunch, I'd just like give them my whole lunch. And it's like, you could have just given them like half of it and you still could have had something for yourself. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Hey, Miss Mindful, good to see you, sweetheart. Oh my gosh, these readings have been amazing. The Aquarius one was so good. Yeah. So let's get an affirmation on this for you, Pisces. Insight. Look at that. Look at the third eye opening there, Pisces. You're seeing things so much more balanced with this. Opens the third eye to strengthen the intuition. Yeah. It's funny. As long as I've been using this little deck, I have literally never pulled this card in a general reading before. Never. So to me, when I pull a card like that and I haven't seen it before, I'm like, ooh, that's a message. Big time. Yeah. That's a beautiful read, Pisces. I just love it. Yeah. Nice balancing coming in. Hey, Francisco. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate the blessing, honey. And I also want to, anybody that's still in the chat, now that we're done with our general reads, anybody that has donated during the course of the evening, I am open for taking your personal questions. Let me just I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. And I will be right back, and we'll get our little list together. Okay, guys. Dragon has returned. All right, everybody. So anybody that donated during the course of the evening, I am going to take your questions. Let me grab all my tarot decks. So who was first, guys? Let's just write a little. Let me see if I've got a pad of paper I can jot a note down. I know Tasha left a I know we have Jason. Might be, I don't know if Tasha wanted to ask a question. We had Jason, trying, I think Francisco donated tonight. Oh, okay, Gwen, yeah, no problem. Absolutely, yeah. Oh yeah, totally, Tasha. You were I think you were our first person that sent in your donation. So absolutely, sweetheart. Let me know what you want to ask. If you're ready to go. Anybody that donated, you can go ahead and formulate your question for me. And if you know your like sun, moon, rising sign, you can tell me that too, because that'll give me a little insight into your astrology as well. Holy water. Let's burn a little more sweetgrass. Let's clear from doing the generals. Clear out from doing the general readings. It's gonna be good. Understandable, Gwen. Sometimes it's hard to just narrow it into one. Oh, no problem, Tasha. And if you know your sun, moon, and rising, you can share that with me too. That I can give you some astrology pointers as well, if you want to know that part too. So Tasha, what is going on, please, Spirit, for Tasha on job, work, career? What's your time frame? Do you have a time frame? Yeah, a lot of things are in transition right now, Gwen. That's for sure where I'm at. A lot of things in flux, a lot of things in movement. I'm just taking it one day at a time and being patient as much as I can, just to let it unfold. I've learned those hard lessons that the more you try to push something, oh, it doesn't work. All you can do is help it along each day by doing what you can do one day at a time. All right, Tasha, are you with us? Okay, let's start with you. I'm going to start with one card from the Sacred Destiny Oracle for you, Tasha. We're going to see what your main theme right now is. Ooh, enlightenment. Look at that. So enlightenment is your key. It's, you may be waiting for a sign. You're kind of waiting for that like tap from spirit to say, what's the right job? What's the right path? You know, something that needs to be illuminated for you. I would say that with that card, you really do have to kind of get into that peaceful mindset and not get into stress, because it's hard to tap into those points of enlightenment or really get deep into your intuition when you're in a worried place, right? Look at that on the bottom. We have power. So what makes you feel empowered? What makes you feel revitalized? What makes you feel like you have vitality and energy for it? That's important too. Those are the two things I would say. But you may be kind of waiting for this, like just that you know when you know, right? You know when you know. And that enlightenment card, that's what that is. It's that real like, no one can make that determination for you. Just like when you're in love with someone. You know it or you don't. I feel like that scene in The Matrix. No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it, right? And it's that same way with a career path or any kind of decision in life. You'll know it when you know it. So let's get into your tarot. Let's do 3, and we're going to clarify the 3. Let's see what kind of path this is going to unveil for Tasha in the job and career front, please. Wow. Some nice cards. Some really nice cards. The sun is here, so I feel like this is a pretty positive reading right off the bat. You know, this is going to be a good one. Leo energy. So I feel like the kind of job or the kind of things that you want to look into or you know, go further with are ones that, yeah, make you feel empowered, re-energized, bring that vitality back, that positivity. You want to be in a really positive environment. Like you don't want to be in a place that's negative, heavy, makes you feel nervous or things like that. And the sun is so optimistic. It's one of the most positive cards in the whole tarot. You know, it's joy, it's success, brilliant insights and epiphanies that lead to opportunities, plans that work out well. I would also say that if you've been feeling heavy or if you've been feeling down or any of that kind of thing, it's really encouraging you to stay up in spite of it all, right? It's encouraging you to stay in a positive mindset, because that's how you go forward to things that are better. So let's get a clarifier. What's coming up on top of the sun, please? Ooh, and we have our 2 of Cups. So I feel like, Tasha, there's something to do with a partnership here. There's something to do with, you know, either a partnership, cooperation, maybe a friend or a loved one that helps you out with something. They might go, oh, I know where you'd have a great opportunity, or I know where you'd like to work or something. It's like there's this connection that kind of helps you out here. Whether it's romantic, friendship, good coworker, good past coworker that helps you out, that's something you might want to look into if you haven't already, because that is nice. That's really nice. I mean, if this was like a love reading, holy cow. And the reason I say that, look what we have in the middle. Look at the second card that came out was the 2 of Cups as well. So you've already got the 2 of Cups twice in this reading. So this is like strong connections, strong soulmate connections, spiritual connections, people that are beneficial for you being put in your path, meeting the right people at the right time. Wow. You know, this could be a very nice work partnership if this is around a work situation. And maybe you have met this person already, maybe you haven't, right? You know, if you haven't yet, I would be on the watch for it. Could be a water sign, could be a Leo, could be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But But this is like very helpful people. Very helpful, you know, a person that just says, I'm going to get you in here. You know, I'm going to put in that good word for you that helps you get what you want. That's what that feels like. Let's get a clarifier for the second Two of Cups. Nine of Wands. Yeah, because I feel like, you know, it's that embattled feeling. It's like you've been fighting a long battle and you can keep fighting, but you're kind of tired. Like, you know, this is not something that's been easy, and you really do like need that just that encouragement. You need someone to help lift you up. And you know, even if it's small, even if it's a small thing, could be a small thing, could be a big thing, could be a medium thing, but it really would help a lot, right? Because you've been fighting for yourself a long time. That's what I feel with that Nine of Wands. Yeah, so it's something where it's like, you know, you're strong, but it's harder going it alone than it would be to go it with a friend or a good coworker or partner, someone that would help you out a good bit. Two of Pentacles is the last card coming out. So this is that stay in the moment card. One day at a time. Don't overthink. Don't over worry. This is also a card that is about managing your money, managing your finance, balancing your checkbook, all that kind of stuff. It is. It needs to bring more fun back into its life. You know, enjoying the journey, right? Enjoying the process instead of feeling like, oh God, it's so hard, so miserable. You know, it's like this is really saying, try to have a little fun with it. Don't worry too much into the future. Don't dwell too much on the past either. Stay in the moment, one step at a time. You know, that's why he's walking that tightrope. It's like if you have to pay attention to the very present moment when you're walking that tightrope, or you know, it's easy to tumble off of it. So that's very much what you got to do. And this could also, to me, with the Nine of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, you may have been working too hard for a while, and that could be a reason why there's a break in the action now. And it can also say that maybe you've been stressing yourself out or pushing yourself or pressuring yourself too hard to find the right job, right? Or to find the right career. That could be something too. It's like you got to be a little lighter on yourself. And it is time to reach out for help if you haven't already, with the Two of Cups, definitely. Whether it's, you know, a career counselor, temp service, but I feel like it's more intimate than that. Not necessarily that it's a romantic intimacy, but you know what I mean. It's like a trusted advisor, friend, colleague, someone that really kind of knows you well, or at least kind of has an intuitive understanding of what would make you really happy. That's what I feel with that Two of Cups coming up twice. Let's get a clarifier on the Two of Pentacles, please. Three of Wands. Oh, Tasha. Yeah, this is this is the tough advice, because this is like stay in the moment, do what you can one day at a time. But the Three of Wands is let those ships come to you. It's like it's that way. Like when you're putting out the resumes, when you're putting out the feelers, when you're putting out those points of contact, then you have to kind of relax, sit back, and let the ships come to you. Let the responses come to you. This is really saying you can't chase it down. And if you have been kind of chasing it down, it's really been wearing you out. So on the bottom, we have the Five of Pentacles. To me, this is that scarcity consciousness, right? That's a scarcity consciousness card. So it's really about putting yourself in places that are not as stressful, as difficult. It's really about making the decision to contact others and not doing it all yourself. That's the biggest thing. Five of Wands, right? We have a Five of Pentacles and a Five of Wands. So to me, that's the stress. That's the underlying stress, conflict that you have going on with yourself. So it's really, to me, it's about negative thoughts or fears that can potentially manifest into real challenges. Fears surrounding money, fears surrounding all that kind of assistance. And so I know it's like totally feels like against the grain. Oh, good night, Silver Star. Thank you. You're welcome. But it's really encouraging you not to worry so much, to change your perspective, to not fall into those like super fears, because that's kind of the blockage, right? That's kind of the blockage. And the Two of Cups coming in twice with the Sun, that's really finding the right people to talk to. And if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't got that person yet, it's time to do that. That's what's going to get things moving again. And it may be a little hard to trust people for you sometimes. You know, sometimes the Nine of Wands can be a little defensive, a little bit wounded, like, oh, I don't know if I can trust that person. But I think you're going to have to open up to it, because that's kind of, to me, like, that's the block. But these are some super powerful cards, you know. I'm pulling these thinking, you know, with the mind to the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? You know, because that's the cycle we've been reading for tonight. But like I said, I'm not sure what your timeline is looking like for you. Not sure what you're kind of looking at time-wise. But let me get an affirmation on this. This is, I mean, it's a good read. It's a good read, Tasha. No doubt about that. These are some very nice cards, but it really is about this need to relax and to put the feelers out and connect with positive people. Don't try to go it alone here. Yeah, hidden treasures. Look at that. That is a beautiful card too. Love it. So bring your creative ideas and hidden talents to the surface and present your gifts to the world. That's something important too. And to me, that's what this is about, is really showing, here's my abilities, here's my skill set, here's what I bring to the table, approaching it in that way. Don't underscore yourself, right? Don't underplay your gifts. Really play to your strengths, not your weaknesses. Because especially if you've, you know, it's the energy of rejection, and that's always hard to deal with no matter what we apply it to. So if you've been feeling kind of rejected for a while, you're going to have to build yourself up a little bit more and realize, here's what makes me desirable. Here's what makes me someone that people would want to have on their team, to want to have on, you know, a position. So it's a good read, though. It's not bad. But I would definitely reach out to whoever you can reach out to. Connect with good people that can get you into the places that you want to be in, especially if they are people that are, you know, more optimistic, fun, passionate, intuitive, caring, compassionate kind of people. I'm not sure what your astrology is. What's your, if you can share your sun, moon, rising, I could tell you a little bit about that. But, you know, those are the kind of people that you want around you and with you. So, you know, if there's places that provide either career counseling, you know, sometimes temp agencies can be great to get you in somewhere just until you get what you really want, or maybe you find something that is really good for you through that avenue. But with the Two of Cups coming up twice, you know, because we're only pulling in total 8 cards, but if that's coming up 2 times, Scorpio with Gem rising. Okay. So all of this is shifting across your rising right now. And so you're definitely in the middle of some transition. You're letting some old things, some old paradigms go, because that means that, you know, during Taurus time, all that stuff was happening in your 12th house. And so now it's all starting to move into that first house for you, or already has moved into the first house. I'm not sure what your degree is. But absolutely, that's a great point of activation. It really is. And since we're in a Mercury retrograde, it's also the next, you know, 10, 11 days, not a bad thing to think about stuff that has been successful for you in the past, right? Think about things that have worked for you in the past. Do those things again. Like I said, if there's someone from your past that's been really helpful, someone that can really vouch for you in the workplace, that's the kind of people you want to bring into your life. Those are the kind of people that are going to help you a lot. And, you know, having that water energy. And look, you know, you had the power card on the bottom there too, you know, and Scorpio is a sign of pure power. You know, you're coming into some good luck. Just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. The other good thing that you have on your side as well is Venus is in Cancer right now, and that's in a very positive alignment to your sun sign. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot happening with you. We are in a lot of transition. We are in a lot of transition. There's no doubt about that. But reach out to who you need to reach out. I wouldn't try to go this alone. I wouldn't go a job search alone with those kind of cards. Trusted friends, or even new friends, new advisors, new people that can kind of help you. Because I do, with the Nine of Wands and that Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles, I do get the feeling that you are feeling kind of frustrated, discouraged, maybe even a little devalued, you know, and it's like, oh, you know. So you need to not only kind of lift yourself back up into a higher vibration, but you need people as well that help lift you into that as well, right? It's a balance of both. It's a balance of both. And take things one day at a time. With the Three of Wands, you have to let things come to you instead of like chasing them down and beating them up. Which I know feels very counterintuitive, right? That's, you know, usually when we're looking for something, we just want to go run around and chase it down. But this is something where it's like once you've kind of put in the effort, put in those connections, made the calls, placed the emails, you've got to give yourself some downtime to just really relax and let things come to you, right? Remember, you're a Scorpio. You've got the power. You're a magnetic sign. Wow. On the bottom of that, I just had to look. We've got the time out card. Yeah, take time for a much needed break and relax, right? I'd say it's a balance. You know, put your talents out there, show what you're about, but you have got to give yourself a little break because you've been hard on yourself. Scorpios are hard on themselves. I know. You're just like us Capricorns. We can be so demanding of ourselves. Yeah. I'd say you will feel a lot different in the next 2 to 3 weeks, especially if you follow follow a little of that advice. I think it'll help you a lot to just not go it so alone. Yeah, you got to involve some other people because you've got some beautiful partnership cards coming in there. I mean, if that was a love reading, I'd be like, ah, you're going to meet your soulmate. You know, the Sun and the Two of Cups. Y'all, wow. Very nice. Very, very nice. You may have to be willing to let your guard down a little bit too there. A little bit of letting your guard down because of that Nine of Wands, especially if you've kind of been burned before. Yeah. And who hasn't? Yeah. All right. Who's next? Who's next, guys? Who wants to be? I think there. Jason was in the line. Oh, you're welcome, Tasha. I hope that helps. I hope it helps. I know it's maybe not like as concrete of a timeline as if I had like your full chart, but I really feel that it's like you've got to give yourself a break. You have got to give yourself some grace. Yeah. And I know that can be really hard. Trust me. I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself. I know how it is when things are, you know, when the sales aren't coming in and the money's just, you know, really tight. I trust me, I know. Those are the times that I have to really remind myself to relax because that's the time when you don't want to relax. And like I said, it seems so counterintuitive, right? It's like the time that feels so not relaxing is actually when we need to relax and let go the most. It's tough. It is. It totally is. It's a challenge when it's like that. All right, Jason, if you have a question, go ahead and post it whenever you're ready. And I don't know if anyone else was waiting on one. I think we had like a couple, maybe a few other people that sent in a donation, but we'll see. We'll see who pops up. And if you put one in and you didn't request one, you can do it on my next live. Just let me know, because we'll have records of everyone that donated tonight. And I'll start doing that more often when when I do a live and I have time afterwards. I'll start opening it up for like, just like personal, like one question with the minimum $5 donation. I'll start doing that because I've had people say that they really want that, and I'm gonna do what you guys need. You know, that's what I'm here for. We're gonna do what works best for everyone. Go ahead and clear my cards while you write your question, Jason. We may raise it to 10 in the future, Gwen. I don't want to. And Tasha did give a heftier donation. She did. So I'm going to give her a decent amount of time. I'm just excited. Hey, can you see it? I'm a Cancer Sun, Aquarius Moon. General energy read, please. Sounds good. Cancer Sun, Aquarius Moon. That's a fascinating combination, It really is. Cancer Sun, wow. And the interesting thing about that, is that your moon is your ruling planet, and having it be in Aquarius, it does create, like we talked about earlier when we were talking about the Aquarius energy and how it can be really emotionally detached. So you may feel very independent. I'm just going to tell you with the astrology. Do you know your rising sign, Jason? What is the rising sign, if you have it? Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, ancestors. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's an interesting combo, because you may feel very like Cancer usually is very like home, family. They're real like, but with an Aquarius moon, I mean, that just puts like this independent, unique, unusual kind of energy. It's also, funny enough, a reason that you would like my kind of energy on my channel, because I am an Aquarius rising. And when somebody's moon sign and rising are the same, there's a really nice connection, because it's like the person, who's rising really speaks to the subconscious of the person that has the moon sign, right? They really are like, wow, how does this person understand me so well? It's because they're vocalizing out, projecting out what you feel on your subconscious. That's why that creates that connection. It's very interesting. I have that with Capricorn rising people, because I'm a Capricorn moon. My best friend is a Cap rising. No surprise, right? So let's get into it. Let's see what we've got, please. Dear angels, guardians, guides, ancestors, for Jason Fuller. Let's see what we've got for him coming through. General energetic reading. How he's doing, where he's sitting, what's going on with him. Wow. Keyword is power. So I really feel like you may be in a place where it's time to step into your power, time to get empowered. Funny enough, Tasha had this card on the bottom of the deck of the Destiny Oracle. So this may be as well, like, is a similar message in a way for both of you, because there is that feeling to need to empower yourself, to step into your power, to not be afraid of your own power or your strength or your talents or your positives. Because sometimes, what is that saying? We're not afraid that we're powerless as much as we're afraid that we're powerful beyond our imagination. Right? It's like it's more frightening to be like, oh God, I got all this power and how do I use it, right? On the bottom is the diligence card. So it's really finding, being diligent about ways that you can apply your personal power, how you can better exercise that, how you can better put that into the right places where it's meant to go. Let's get some tarot on this for Jason, please. Let's start out with 3 cards for him on his energy. Interesting too. I mean, these are all like kind of those, yeah, it's leading you to a place of empowerment. So right in the beginning, I like this because I feel like that's kind of where you are right now, like at this very moment, is the 3 of Pentacles in a community, in a spiritual community, kind of in that building mode, right? To me, the 3 of Pentacles is all about coming together as a group to create something bigger than yourselves, to create sometimes this place of spiritual refuge, emotional refuge and safety. It's really encouraging you to do what you love, working well with others, connecting with people that can help you to achieve what it is that you want to do, right? It's interesting to me too, because there was a similar message for Tasha when I said, don't go it alone. And the 3 of Pentacles brings that through as well, right? For you, it's more, for her, I think it's more about a one-on-one connection. For you, Jason, it's more about a bigger community, right? A bigger group. Very nice. Let's get a clarifier on the 3 of Pentacles, please. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wait till you see what comes out at the end. So the King of Wands is on top of this. This is very strong, like Aries, very fiery energy. So to me, it's really taking the leadership role here. Not being afraid to kind of be a community leader, right? And there may be something in your life that you're saying, you know what, I'd really love to step up and start this organization, or re-energize an organization, or re-energize this community that maybe you see could be doing more or going more places. King of Wands is an energy that goes out and gets what they want, right? They don't sit around forever waiting for it to come to them. They are the one that takes the action. It's a very cardinal kind of energy. Right in the center, we have the Page of Pentacles. So again, more pentacle energy. This again is like, what should I invest in? What should I put my time into? This is that feeling of going out and getting into a new job, getting into a new subject of study, maybe moving somewhere new or thinking about it, because this is that, I've got this coin sitting there and it's time to get something going. It's time to get something new. She got her little bunny rabbit there too. Bunny rabbits are great, but sometimes they will eat your books. I've got many books that have been bunny nibbled. So, these can be opportunities presenting themselves. These can be, new doors opening in career, new subjects of study. But it's definitely this feeling of like, I want to invest in something. A new friend who wants me to help him. Yeah, I mean, it is that kind of feeling. It really is, especially if it's for the good of the whole. Like, it's not just you that gets something out of it. It's everybody that gets something out of it. Let's see what clarifies this Page of Pentacles for you. Look at that. Another favorite card is the Fool card. Taking a leap of faith, baby. That's it. Taking the leap of faith, you know. And both of these cards have a youthful quality about them. It's sort of like, not that you have to be a kid to, you know, this is that youthful mindset. It's like not being so cynical or jaded. It's like just really trusting the path that you're on, not worrying too much, you know, what's going to come. Just, you know, going where the divine is leading and see what happens. See what happens, taking that jump. But there's a lot of Aries energy in this as well as Earth. There's a lot of Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and there's a lot of Aries, a little bit of Aquarius. Very interesting. And again, look at that. You had the King of Wands clarifying this card, and so the King of Wands has come up twice in your reading. So whenever we get doubles of cards, it's always very exciting when we're not doing a ton of cards. Again, motivated, inspiring, ambitious, take a leadership role, being willing to step into the spotlight. Could be some public speaking, you know, being willing to be in the public a little bit. Keep your eyes on the big picture, communicate your vision. Don't be overly sensitive to criticism, you know, welcome healthy criticism or critique of your work. These are great cards. These are just great cards. Let's get into a clarifier for our second King of Wands here. Let your light shine. Seven of Swords, yeah. And be very above board. Very above board, because the Seven of Swords can sometimes be them sneaky figures, right? Or a fear of being taken advantage of sometimes. Yeah. Just make sure everybody is what they say they are. And that may also be just a concern that you kind of have, right? It's like, I want to make sure that this is real, that people are authentic and being genuine. And that you're being real and genuine with not presenting, you know, any kind of false face, being just very realistic. And so, you know, if they say, we need you to do this, or I want you to do that, that you know if you can or you can't, and you can communicate that really well. Because the Seven of Swords is sometimes, you know, just taking shortcuts, or not, you know, being, you know, not acting with complete integrity or truth. So you always want to kind of watch for who's around you whenever there's a Seven of Swords. It can also sort of, I feel this card too with Mercury retrogrades a lot, because it's really that sort of feeling of making sure that you crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's. You know, you might be going back to check your work again. That could be part of that as well. That's the less nefarious version of this. But I do feel that you've also had a lot of worries. You do have those kind of underlying fears and, you know, stresses, because we do have the Nine of Swords here on the bottom. And so that can be that worry, stress, sleepless nights, kind of dark night of the soul. So you really have to change the way of thinking, right? And it could be, you know, Seven of Swords can also play into that fear of like, will they take advantage of me? Is this too good to be true? You know, et cetera, et cetera. My feeling is, you know, that it's like you are looking for something to invest your time and energy into, you know, maybe your resources too. But, you know, if you don't have it to spend, I wouldn't spend it, right? You know, just because, you know, you can put in time and effort, you know, but if you don't have the resources to put into it, I wouldn't sink it in there unless you really have it, right? And that might give you a little bit better feeling of stability, security, you know, that for sure. Yeah. Try to be more lighthearted. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because there is that heaviness, right? There can be that heaviness of worry, fear, doubt, stress, anxiety. I get it, you know, we're only human. On the bottom of the other deck, we do have the Knight of Wands, and so that's what I feel. It's kind of like, just like you said, you hit the nail on the head with that. You said, you know, it's like, here's the heaviness, that Nine of Swords, right? It's that worry, fear, sleepless nights, stress. But then there's that Knight of Wands, which is super Sagittarius energy. That's a very strong traveling kind of feeling. It's speed. It's optimism. Coming out of a, you know, restrictive or stagnant pattern and going towards what you really love with a lot of passion and drive. Just saying, King of Wands twice in this read. It's definitely going and getting what you want. Definitely kind of being that. It's like the Emperor. It's the Emperor energy, you know, leadership figure, someone that's very dynamic, goes after what they want, you know, has a lot of courage, a lot of bright energy. It's very positive, very divine masculine. So let's get you an affirmation on this. A surprise on the horizon. Yeah, so something's gonna pop up. Expect a nice surprise. Yeah. And then on the bottom we had Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel guides your creativity. And that's, you know, that's an archangel of communication, which is really the energy that we're in, right? Guiding your communication, guiding the messages that you receive. You might actually be getting like unexpected messages, unexpected communication. Yeah. Definitely positive though. I mean, like it's really, to me, this is about empowering you no matter what it is that you're doing. Invest in yourself, invest in what, you know, feels right to you. And if something doesn't feel right to you, get out of there. You know, even if you're a little invested in it, right? If you start to feel any funk about it, just listen to yourself. Don't King of Wands doesn't make a whole lot of apologies for that. If something feels off, he's like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. You know, Knight of Wands in it. You know, you can take that leap of faith in. You can also leap back out if it doesn't feel right. That's how I feel about it. Do what is right for you. King of Wands definitely does what's right for him. Goes to the front of the line. Not afraid to put themselves first. It's a healthy self-love. We talk about that a lot here. That's what that is. I like it. I mean, that's a very, like, strong, positive read. So is there anyone else? Hey, I'm emotional. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cancer is a leadership sign, you know. Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra are all the cardinal signs, Libra, the leadership signs, you know. Sometimes Cancer is more soft about it. They're more subconscious about it, you know. They're less direct. They're less direct. I always joke about Cancers are less direct because they go side to side, right? They go side to side. They don't like come right up to you. And so with the King of Wands coming out, you might want to be more direct, right? Hey, Monica. Hey, peeps. So guys, if there's anyone else that donated through the live and wants a question answered, just let me know. If not, I'm going to take off and go cook myself a late night dinner. Let me know. Yep, I just did a little read for a Cancer here. We finished all the general reads, Monica. They were really good. They all were good. They all felt awesome. Have a good night, Gwen. Take care, sweetheart. Rest your little Virgo self, my little hippie devil. I am not going to be forgetting about that. Hippie devils and love, and octopus of love. That's what we had tonight. It was a fabulous evening. Aw, thanks, Jason. You're so welcome. Thanks for being part of our group. Oh, you're welcome, Monica. Thanks so much, sweetheart. Ciao, Tasha. See you soon, sweetheart. Have a great evening. Yeah, I love it, HP. Wicked groovy Virgo. Yeah, that's right. Oh man, whenever we get Jacqueline back in the chat, we're definitely talking about that. I need to tell her about it. I need to take a picture of that card, the hippie devil card, and send that to her. She is gonna get a kick out of that. That's like a total Halloween costume. Absolutely. Wearing like your Woodstock peace beads and tie-dye and all that with some little devil horns. The funny thing about the horns in the Bible is there's a lot of like, you know, I think it's Michelangelo's Moses. He sculpted him with horns, right? And it's because the translation from light, you know, the radiant light coming off of the face, mistranslated into horns. And so that's why, like, they put horns on the devil and on Moses and these old, like, classical statues, because it was this mistranslation. It meant rays of light coming off of the face, and they mistranslated it to horns, so they stuck horns. You know, Lucifer was the light bringer, right? So it makes sense that he would have light coming off of him, and they made it horns. So that's what we think about devils having horns. It has nothing to do with horns. It's so crazy. It's actually light coming off of the face that got mistranslated into horns. So there you go. Yeah, it's an interesting thing to file away in your knowledge of, like, you know, biblical text or things like that. Very fascinating. All right, my darlings, have a great night. Enjoy waking up to a new, fresh new moon tomorrow. Very exciting. So I will be with you again soon, hopefully. We'll probably be live streaming our usual Friday, unless I'm super, super busy. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how the energy goes of the week. I'm flexible to it, definitely. Me too, HP. Maybe tomorrow night. I've got one gal that I know wants a read tomorrow night. So if you're free or available, we might be able to just do them both tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll talk soon, for sure. All right, everyone. Have a good night, my folks, my darling dragons. And I will be seeing y'all soon. Take care.